Hold on. Hold on. Oh, I'm having a bit of a mad one here. Need to get my chat up. Yes. Yes, 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 yes. Wow, second I mentioned Ethan Klein, people are interested. You got a goose in your throat. Do you stream on Twitch? No, I don't stream on Twitch. Summer era. Yes, it's warm today, and I'm wearing a vest. What of it? What of it? Who's going to stop me? No one. No one is going to stop me. 3 head. Is that because I'm British? There we go. No one's going to stop me. God damn, I'm a problem. Hello everyone. It is not warm enough outside to be wearing a vest. It's 22 degrees. Community Dota 10v10 when? Once I'm better at Dota. I need to get my shit up. I'm terrible at the moment. I haven't played in 6 weeks, so... Haven't been here in a while. You always stream while I'm working. That's how it is, bro. I just love streaming. I wake up and I think, when the hell is Angry Crow working? I'm a stream then, because I'm a problem causer. We don't want to stop you. We're encouraging it. Thank you. Give us a gun show today. No, you have to work for that. You have to work. The sexiness will distract the stream. Well, I heard that this happened to a certain content creator, Ethanic Cleansing. He was trying to concentrate on defeating anti-Semitism, but then really unfortunately, Hassan Piker turned out to be too sexy. Wow. I've just learned something about Eric Adams' new... let's start the stream by learning about some... Oh shit, my headset's unplugged. Fuck. This might cause some problems. Let's find out.
I thought he was...
Question is can you still hear me? Is it capturing my desktop?
Just shoveling chili peppers. But when I look closer, whoa.
Right.
At first, I thought he was just shoveling chili peppers. But when I looked closer, whoa, it turned out to be a whole boatload of lobsters. The way this guy was operating really left me dumbfounded. He lifted the metal shovel and dumped load after load straight into the fish pond. The surface of the pond was covered in so much grass you couldn't even see what was being raised underneath. I bet none of you have ever seen this kind of farming method before, right? What on earth is he raising in there that's worth spending so much money on lobsters just to feed it?
Wow, shout out to Gangster. You know what? I'm kind of swung. Zoran's been saying some pretty questionable stuff and wasn't willing to stand on the Intifada. But, like, this Eric Adams guy, he seems to be interested in Chinese shrimp farming. I mean, I assume... Oh, it doesn't even... I just assume that there's no indication to say it's in China. But what I will say is that kind of stuff is only happening in China. Like, you don't have that kind of stuff in the UK. The UK has, like... people being homeless, people dying of starvation, poor people being sort of treated horribly. We ain't got people feeding feeding the beasts of the water shrimps and lobster. That just ain't happening. He's a real cosmopolitan dude, Chris. Yes, I see he is. Hulk Hogan's dead, so that's an interesting way to begin. Probably going to get off TMZ. It's making my PC go a bit funky. From the camera crop, you look like you're wearing a bikini. I am wearing a bikini. My first ever viral video on TikTok has some really funny comments of like, why are you wearing a mankini? I'll see if I can find it. Do you want to see my oldest ever TikTok video? Actually, I've showed you this and I'm not showing it again.
The Middle East is a...
Look, we've gone full circle. Today after, Frank Reynolds would love to wear that top. Indeed he would. Frank Reynolds would love to. Is it... I've moved my camera now so you can see me a bit better. Maybe I should, like, maybe I should get, like, a legs camera next. Maybe that's the next step. The path to profit is more important. Are you wearing a mankini? I don't get why people make Sisa... Some very interesting... He is one of the best presidents of Egypt. Definitely much better than Morsi. Thank you, Yusuf, for telling me that. My guy, you state some... But you should mention something. When Morsi, you had the same people that voted for him in the streets demanding his resignation. Egypt would have collapsed today. Al-Sisi way better than Morsi. Morsi supported terrorism. Al-Sisi eliminated terrorism. If I could pull out a giant microphone, period. Just a small note here. We as Muslims don't want democracy. It goes completely against our religion. Very interesting. OMG, his face. Totally British face. Thank you, Khaled. Evil Khaled. Bad man. Looking big, brother. Thank you. I trained today. I weigh too much at the moment, so I was trying to do my pull-ups and I was struggling. We need a Noah Sampson type Mankini in chat. Yeah. My guy Noah. Noah's a great guy. Shout out Noah Sampson. But he's been sued by my other hero, Ethan Klein, Ethanic. And yeah, Salafi's at it again. I actually think that these, like, I don't think, Chris, are you naked? Yeah, I'm naked. On stream. No, I'm not naked. YouTube, I'm not naked. I'm wearing a vest. Look. I'm wearing a My Protein vest. I am not naked. We need a Noah Sampson. Yeah, I just read that. CC, yes. CC, yes. Morsi, no. Morsi, no. Why are your biceps bigger than my waist? Of course they are. They are just, because they're so big. These are the biggest biceps in the UK. What did he mean? Oh, I wanted to go on here. So, Ledonct is the only person who said that I was wearing a mankini. The Arabic Spring had nothing to do with us. Why didn't you mention the protests against Morsi? The West only want democracy that only works in their favour, even if it is brutal. Hello, Tony Soprano lover. Yeah. I'm going to make my profile picture on Twitter an armpit. Right, so I guess there are some important things to talk about. BBC... starving. So, the BBC, along with AFP and many other organisations, have come out today. I haven't seen the Jubilee debate and I can't watch it. Maybe if someone makes an incredibly distorted version of it, where like they're all green or something. That would be like a way I could finally watch it. Armpit hair. I mean, you're a terrorist, SMH. Oh, thanks for that one. These comments are interesting to say the least. Armpit pick. Must mean you're a terrorist. Oh, that's it. Aquaman died too. Mimosa. What? Sorry, I'm just getting an important text. BBC News and 3 leading news agencies have expressed desperate concern for journalists in Gaza, who they say are increasingly unable to feed themselves and their families. Those reporting... I mean, this, by the way, this is also an indication of, like... Look, if you're working for BBC in Gaza, you will probably have, like, a decent amount of money. And if you've been working for them for a long time, you will definitely have a decent amount of money. If people like this are struggling to get food, then everyone is struggling to get food. It's kind of an indication of how bad the situation has become. Islam has something more similar to an electoral college. Just much more smaller and less formalised. It's not a one-to-one analysis. No, I also don't think the movement towards democracy. Carlo Invernizzi Accetti has a really good book, which is very long. I've never read the whole thing. Called What is Christian Democracy? But like maybe chapter 20 out of it is like about... here you go. Here's the book. You'll probably be able to find it somewhere that isn't £110. Persistent normative potential of Christian democracy. This is it. Between Muslim democracy and far-right populism, chapter 10, I deeply apologise. I've read that, and I've read the introduction and a couple of other chapters. It's a good book. But he talks about, like, the process of Islam towards democracy and why it's not analogous. Yeah, I have tattoos on my chest. I've got 2. One here and one there. There were still BBC journalists. They aren't actually, so I think that there'll be people who are like BBC reporters on the ground in Gaza rather than like international journalists. But yeah, so I mean, it's kind of hard to report on because this has basically been the case for months now. Israel is just starving Gaza. There was another insane story, another seemingly faux anti-Semitism story. Right, let's look into that. You know when Amichai Chikli is saying stuff. When Amichai Chikli is talking, I sit my white ass down and listen. I wonder if he said anything, but
One moment, un momento, un momento. Saca a los niños para afuera, lleva a los niños para afuera,
So, basically, here's an explanation. 50... No, we got to read that in French. I can't remember how to say 50 in French, but I'm just going to say 50. 50 enfants juifs expulsés d'un avion. Leur directrice de 21 ans menottée violemment. Si les faits relevés dans cet article sont avérés, la compagnie espagnole Vueling devra rendre des comptes en justice. There you go. Le 50, it's just 50. It's 50 Jewish children were expelled from a plane. Their 21-year-old director violently handcuffs. In the facts reported in the article are proven, the Spanish company Vueling will have to answer in court. Oh, this company is going to have to fucking answer in court, like 100%. When Amichai Chikli speaks, you'll better sit down and listen. But yes, I hope you enjoyed my French. You speak better French than me, and I'm a teacher. What can I say? I'm very talented. Right, so this is the statement from Vueling. I'll tell you, so obviously we've got another serious, very serious, awful anti-Semitism incident. Anti-Semitism everywhere, all over the world. The safety of our passengers and operation is and always will be our top priority. The actions of the onboard staff were solely in response to behaviour that compromised the integrity of the flight, as well as the safety of passengers and the operation as a whole. A group of passengers engaged in highly disruptive behaviour and adopted a very confrontational attitude, putting at risk the safe conduct of the flight. Les 50 enfants, those 50 enfants were being awful. Those damned enfants. This group mishandled emergency equipment and actively disrupted the mandatory safety demonstration, repeatedly ignoring instructions from cabin crew. My friend actually, I don't think that this is the case here, but my friend has a really good essay about this. It's called Zionism is to Blame for Israel's Mental Health Epidemic. Very poignant and relevant piece. I've definitely mentioned it before. I swear it was in here that he mentioned it. Anyway, what he's talking about is how Israelis are travelers, are really bad travelers. Wait, is this not this article? Hold on. I swear he once wrote about this. My PC be going crazy. Rami Rumile. I don't know why we've lost that, but he spoke about it very well. Basically, Israelis are just bad travelers because they all go after doing genocide. 2/3 of Israelis are conscripts, blah, 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 blah. I wonder if it's in here. I really don't know where this went. I thought it was in here, but anyway, it was a very interesting article. But yeah, Israelis are bad travelers because they're very fucking entitled. And when you have a society that lets you just like spout how much you love genocide, that teaches you that there are inferior beings who make up your society, I think that breeds some not very nice people. I'm gonna come out and say it. Like, there is a very small amount of Israelis who are nice, who are who like want to see peace, but a lot of them are very fucking genocidal. Chincante. But yeah, despite multiple warnings, this inappropriate behavior persisted, which forced the crew to activate established security protocols. The crew, acting in accordance with Vueling procedures, requested the intervention of the Giardia? Hang on a second. Could this be targeted against Ethan Klein? Hang on a second. We might be looking at a document here that is from Hassan Piker, arch-terrorist. It's mentioning Guardia. Because anyone who is against Israel's actions don't like self-identifying as Israeli. Yeah, true. Chris, I see you in a stringer. People are loving this vest. Yes. This is terrible. This is very bad. This is activation phrase. Who, after assessing the situation, decided to disembark the group to prioritize the rest of the passengers' safety. Once at the terminal, Chris, have I taught you nothing? Yep, you have taught me nothing. I don't know anything. Denims wrote this. Denims sent the skulls. Arch-terrorist Hamas Piker, Hamas Leica, Hassan Parker. Another attack. Yet another attack. It's the bleach sword all over again. Right. Despite multiple where were we? We categorically deny any suggestion that our crew's decision related to the religion of the passengers involved. This decision was taken solely to ensure the safety of all passengers. At Vueling, we categorically reject any form of discrimination without exception. We deeply regret that this incident occurred, and we appreciate the support and understanding of the passengers who were affected by this situation. Enfance. Oh, sorry, you don't pronounce the T. Bloody French. The French. How dare you actually do this? Like, I just want to stop for a second. I have just been learning about how the Normans took over my country. They oppressed the good Anglo-Saxons. They oppressed the North. The North remembers, as I've heard. Turkish Spider-Man. I don't know why you're saying Turkish. Turkey and the Colour of the Sea. Turquoise, let's fucking go. Comes from Turkey and the Colour of the Sea. My relations with Turkey are bad, though. One of my ancestors was a witness to the Armenian genocide, so a bit of a problem there. W. William the Conqueror. No, L. William the Conqueror. He was oppressing the good Anglo-Saxon people. They just wanted to live in filth and do bad things. And the French came over and tried to civilize us. To be fair, one of the interesting things, though, that I did read is that the Norman conquest may live bigger in the mind of British history than people realise in terms of, like, British colonisation. Right. But, now, we hear about this story, but it seems, apparently, they were singing Haroit, one of the innocent Hebrew songs typically sung at these summer camps. So this is a song that's apparently sung at the summer camps that these people were on the way to. On the Gaza beach, the autumn night is descending. Planes are bombing. Ruin follows ruin. See the IOF crossing the borderline to annihilate the swastika carriers. In one more year, there won't be anything left there, and we'll return safely to our home. In one more year, we'll eliminate them all and go back to ploughing the fields. Jesus fucking Christ. Let's have a look. I think there might be a video of, like, Israeli children. Let's have a look if we can find a video of this. As you can see, it's a very nice song. I just want to see if I can find this. So this is the song he's talking about. I'm sorry, but like, there was this guy who sent me this thing about this weird, like, pro-Hamas, like, fucking Mickey Mouse program, and it did seem pretty unusual, like, it seemed like a very unusual show, but, like, you do also have videos like this of Israeli children. I love it when my children, who are definitely not engaged in really horrifying, like, just despicable propaganda, are, like, just having videos of people being targeted by, you know, military equipment. In a year, we will annihilate everyone. Do you think that this is the beautiful Israeli culture that Ethan wanted to show his kids? Also, just like, I'm sorry, but like, this literally just sounds like Nazi shit. The pretty and the pure. Enfant. Enfant terrible. Love sanctified with blood. Holy fucking shit, this stuff is crazy. You are a bit ironic, with the way that the mental health of Israeli soldiers is going, if I speak, I am in big trouble. Right, that's certainly fucking enough of that. But yeah, ostensibly, this is one of the songs that they're singing at the children's camp. I'm just going to see if there's any more information about this. Because apparently they were, like, singing offensive songs and stuff. Apparently they were chanting. I don't know if 100%. Apparently, this is what Mint Press is saying. 50 Israelis arrested for chanting death to Arabs in a Spanish airport. Passengers began chanting Free Palestine. There's not really much information about this out there. But as someone else put it, it does seem very similar to what happened in you know, fucking Amsterdam. Apparently they were chanting these kind of things. Like, you know, like chanting death to Arabs. But, you know, and like, people would act as if that's surprising. Bro, like, we know what Israel is like. Look at their media. Like, just watch the Israeli news clips that are translated by people like I Really Hate You.
אני רוצה להתייחס לביטוי הזה שאנחנו שומעים הרבה פעמים.
Gaza is a cage inside a zoo. A human being who grows up in a cage inside a zoo, in the end behaves like a human animal. The evacuation of the Gaza Strip is the right and moral thing to do. That's Israeli News, Channel 14, on the February 20th. We need to take all of them in Gaza and do transfer, open an amusement park instead of Gaza, like a nearby Disneyland. Few weeks after his burnt Palestinians clip, Israeli rapper Itai Lukacs went on Channel 14, Fatty and Shatti, and freestyled about ethnic cleansing.
תן לו את הביט, מה צריך לעשות בעזה?
אוקיי, אומר חטא האמת, אולי זה לא יהיה פייר, אבל צריך לקחת את כולם.
I am an Israeli artist and this is my music.
ולעשות טרנספר.
Jesus Christ, bro.
לפתוח שם לונה פארק עם מגדלים.
Amsterdam was horrifying and the Dutch government gave the poor war criminal... Oh, of course it was fucking horrifying. I remember being one of the first people to, like obviously not the first person, but, like, releasing something about that. And you just think, like, if it wasn't for, like, independent media... Bloody hell. I've sneezed. But, like, if it wasn't for, like, independent media, you'd have, like, people just, like, Sky News fucking edited their videos over and over again.
של טראמפ, ושיהיה חוקי שמה סמים, רק הוא ידלוק רק, וככה אז נבוא כאילו דיסנילנד קרוב, וטראמפ גם יסגור ישלם לנו את החוב, יהיה כזה שלום, שלום די עולמי, אני אדפו שם בחופשה, החופשה היא חלומית.
Thank you for all of the bless yous. Like, just like, this is Israeli news.
פלסטין בחינם, אחלה של דבר, הייתי הולך לשופך עליהם הר, של מודפאקינג דלק ומדליק אותם באש.
Bro, they even got genocidal Dave Blunts in Israel. Like, Israel takes the worst of European culture and just cooks up, like, an even worse version of it. Like, sure, Dave Blunts, you know, made that awful fucking Kanye... Well, I guess actually, you know what? This is just Israeli Dave Blunts. But, like, more genocidal. Fucking crazy. Fucking crazy. Yeah. But also, once again, just another distraction from Israel starving the population of Gaza. Like, even if, say, this was, like, a heinous anti-Semitic incident, like, yeah, it should be dealt with, but, like, at the same time, the people who are, like, hyping it up are just, like, completely fine with the extermination of people. Oh, and also, there's another thing I wanted to talk about. I know I spoke about this the other day, but, like, the Israeli propagandist, Avichai, how do you actually say his name? Avichai, Adrei, has been trying to incite genocide trying to incite violence against Anas al-Sharif because he posted a video of him crying looking at starvation. Here he is. He posted this on TikTok, by the way. Ethan Klein, Mr. Pro-Palestine, spends his time focusing on Hassan, saying Twitch has a terrorism problem. By the way, this is just openly posted on a social media platform where this guy's videos are boosted by some way. Look, but don't worry, Avmichal, geriatric millennial, stay-at-home mom, wife and event planner, has told us about the Nukhba battalion, actually tells us that Anas al-Sharif is in it. Brilliant. Yeah, you know, Bob Villan's the problem. Once again, the Israeli army spokesman has launched a campaign of threats and incitement against me because of my work as a journalist with Al Jazeera. I reaffirm I, Anas al-Sharif, am a journalist with no political affiliations. My only mission is to report the truth from the ground, as it is, without bias. At a time when a deadly famine is ravaging Gaza, speaking the truth has become, in the eyes of occupation, a threat. Of course it has. Like, Israel killed Hossam Shabbat for doing this. They killed one of Gaza's most recognizable, widely celebrated journalists. And also, by the way, here's the Committee for the Protection of Journalists urging protection of Anas al-Sharif, and, like, you have Israel on the other side trying to fucking murder him, and just remember that, fucking Ethan Klein and Hila Klein laughed about this. But yeah, like, I don't know, it's fucking crazy. It's fucking crazy. It's generally just, like, horrifying that, like, this is what's going on. And I guess there is another thing. He shared about 3 videos about Anas, saying he is an acting member. Of course, Like, they are literally just trying to incite genocide and exterminate him. They are trying to, well, incite genocide. I mean, obviously they're doing that. But they're trying to target Anas al-Sharif for literally just reporting the news. That's what they're doing. That is what Israel is doing. Like, simple as that. Israel is trying to kill Anas al-Sharif because he dared to report on Israel's genocide. And he might well be killed because that's what Israel does. It kills decent people. And then we have...
There's no famine.
And then we have this, because, I mean, also, by the way, it's also because it threatens the narratives of this guy, who, I must add, was the head of UK Labour Friends for Israel, the left-wing party in the UK.
In Gaza, there is a famine of the truth, and Israel will not stop telling it. 87 million meals, 1.8 million tons of aid, which we facilitated, aid getting in.
It's so funny. Because, like, again, the prerequisite for believing the Zionist version of events is that you don't believe every single aid organization. You don't believe, like, the BBC. You don't believe even Israeli news. Israeli news was reporting on the famine in Gaza. Like, in a country that has a heavy censorship regime, they're reporting on the famine. If it was entirely a fabrication to, you know, target poor Israel and demonize them, they would be arrested for doing that. I mean, maybe they'll get into trouble for it, but yeah.
Hamas loots, it starves its own people, and the world looks away. We open new routes to deliver food and medicine.
The equivalent of like 10 meals each since May. Oh, 100%. And also people in certain places just aren't getting them. Like northern Gaza, people aren't getting that.
Hamas blocks them and fires from them, and then cries to an all too willing Sky News, all too willing, to the cameras when civilians are hurt.
Why?
Cries to the cameras when civilians are hurt. Very cool. Thank you, David Menzer.
Why don't you provide security then? Why don't you provide security then for the UN to get those supplies into Gaza? You can't say, here's the point, you can't say on the one hand that the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation is now distributing the...
This guy looks funny, bro. He looks like a thumb. Even parties in Germany. Oh, I think that, like, the whole truth is... I think that the whole truth of this is that there is 100% a famine. And all of those people who've denied it in any capacity... Israel has been managing it so massive amounts of people don't starve to death in previous cases. Like, every time it has gotten to the worst point, they have, like, allowed a trickle of aid in to kind of alleviate from the worst possible scenario. But, like, and also, you know, people sustain themselves through fishing, through, like, other means. But now Israel's even banned that. Like, Israel has tried to, and is currently successfully, cultivating a famine in the Gaza Strip with the goal of expelling Palestinians. Sorry, I'm just cleaning my glasses so I can fucking see. But then don't worry, you've got David Menzer telling us otherwise. Thank you, David Menzer. This guy's neck was not promised to him 3,000 years ago. I mean, indeed. Poor guy. Poor David Menzer.
Aid in Gaza, and then when it's a disaster with up to 1,000 people shot dead, you start blaming the UN. You start blaming the UN for causing hunger. I mean, it's simply...
Also, I've said this before. The idea that, like, Hamas is the one shooting them dead is so fucking insane. Like, it is genuinely an insane narrative to even, like, try and promote, because it would mean that Israel is so... I mean, the Israeli military is inept, but they do have aerial firepower. Sorry, I just want to see if I can... They have aerial firepower, they have surveillance equipment, and somehow they just can't find any Hamas members that are in the vicinity. They just can't find them. Hamas have managed to kill 800 people and, you know, demonize their beautiful aid system. Hamas have just managed to do that. Sorry. I'm just trying to get up the next one. Which is, we'll talk about some Ethan Klein situation. He kind of looks like the guy from Modern Family, does he? The thumbs in Spy Kids. I know what you're talking about, I just haven't seen it. No way! We got genocidal thumb people before GTA 5. before GTA 6.
By
Nonsense.
Hamas. The media shows pictures of hungry people, but won't say the words that matter. Hamas stole their food.
The media won't say the words that matter. There is no evidence of this. There is no evidence of this. Yeah, in any moral world, this guy wouldn't even be able to get a job as a mall cop. But, you know, after he's done being an Israeli spokesperson, he'll probably get a job as, like, I don't know, the fucking leader of, the fucking leader of the US, fucking leader of, like, UK Friends of Israel or some bullshit. Some bullshit!
Hamas
When David Mensa speaks, I sit my white ass down and listen.
caused their suffering. Hamas turned charity into a billion-dollar racket, just like
You could literally stop it then if you just allowed aid to flow in. It's such funny rhetoric. I hadn't thought about it in this way until I saw someone just debunk it. So fucking frankly, if you don't want that to happen, just allow aid to fucking flow into Gaza. It is so fucking simple.
mafia. They steal the aid, they sell it on the black market.
He ate all the aid, perhaps. He ate the boxes and all. This is clearly not a smart man.
And they're hoarding it for their own
Hamas this, Hamas that. When are you all going to start talking about how you are complicit in genocide, you thumb man?
terrorist fighters, recruiting killers with that money. So when we have disrupted that pipeline of theft, Hamas saw Israel as a threat to their business model, not their people's salvation. So we've attacked the terrorists while Hamas put civilians in harm's way.
Right, but who is being shot dead? Who is being shot dead? Who is being shot dead when people go to get the food?
Points the finger at Israel instead of the killers. Mark, the tragedy in Gaza.
Yeah, there's our Lord and Saviour, David Mensa, a real hero of our times.
Use that with inverted people. Jewish people are particularly worried in the UK. What will happen if for the first...
Here's this man in his previous job telling you that Jewish... Like, I'm sorry, do you not see why, like... I am a person. I will say, yeah, I see rising anti-Semitism. I see people willing to be anti-Semitic. But talking about it in the context of Palestine and people who do activism for Palestine, unless you're talking about someone like Sneeko, Candace Owens, who are clearly right-wingers that don't have any interest in building a better world, but literally just have a desire to be hateful towards Jewish people, that, like... It is not the key issue that needs to be spoken about. We need to be talking about how people like this spoke about anti-Semitism against Jeremy Corbyn so they could build an unobstructed government a government in the UK that was left-wing, ostensibly left-wing, that would have no obstruction to Israel doing something like the Gaza genocide, which is where we fucking ended up now. And now this guy literally does propaganda. I am sorry, if that doesn't show you the genuine extremism of so many of these organizations ostensibly aimed at combating anti-Semitism, then I don't fucking know what to say to you. This guy is like a genocidal maniac. He is way worse. Like, you know what? He is what, like Sneeko, Nick Fuentes. These are horrible people. And I saw like Bad Empanada and others talking about this. Nick Fuentes has a shitty kick stream. It should be banned, 100%. You shouldn't be allowed to just spew like racist, horrendous talking points. But at the same time, this guy was a member of like the UK Labour Friends of Israel. What was his actual role? Let me just tell you. He was the former director of Labour Friends of Israel, and now he's Netanyahu's spokesman. Like, this guy is a fucking dangerous extremist, bro. Like, genuinely, this guy is an insane character. And if you don't see how that's kind of an indictment of, hey, a lot of these organizations that drum up about anti-Semitism have no interest in anti-Semitism.
Time in their history, an active anti-Semite, someone that lays wreaths at terrorists' graves, someone that...
I love how this is literally, like, taken fucking seriously. Like, this kind of stuff was taken seriously. Lays wreaths at terrorist graves. Motherfucker, you are, like, complicit in the starvation of sorry, I'm just going to clean my camera. Of, like, 2 million people. Like, you are just going on Sky News to deny a very clear reality. That is, like, your job. Also, is my camera quality kind of shit? I just want to check, because it looks shit on my stream, but I don't know if that's just...
Is friends with Holocaust deniers, actually walks through the door of...
Bro! You are not just friends. He's not even friends with Holocaust deniers. This guy is like an active participant in creating another genocide.
Number 10 Downing Street. That is a real... And if you're still a moderate, I use that with inverted commas, if you're still a moderate in the Labour Party, then it's a very, very lonely place to be, because the revolution has happened. It's a far-left, communist, Marxist sympathising party
so who is...
Jesus Christ. It's just, like, unbelievable, isn't it? Like, all of this, like, the Amsterdam thing, this kind of crap, it's just insane. But then let's compare, like, this is the man who he demonized.
Have a name. You don't know when the inaugural conference is going to be. There was some confusion over...
I will say, I like Corbyn and I like Sultana and I like them starting a new party, but calling it your party,
who would co-lead the party. You had Zara Sultana announce that she would with you, and then 2 days later she wouldn't. It looks a bit messy, doesn't it?
It's not messy at all. It's a totally coherent approach. It's democratic, it's grassroots, and it's open. And Zara and I have sent out this statement today, which has had a massive pickup already. The Independent Alliance of MPs have sent out a broadly similar, identical statement in support of it as well. And we will then develop from there. But the broad political principles are there, and that's the important thing, important message to get across. Listen, people have had enough out there. They're fed up with seeing cuts to their services, threats to personal independence payments, continuing child poverty, waspy women shortchanged by the government, and the only thing they can find money for is more weapons of war. The problem...
It's so... it's so funny! Like, people took seriously that he was like evil anti-Semite king, that this guy was like a fucking Nazi, and that David Menzer was like a reasonable guy who we should fucking listen to. Like, what the fuck?
The problem is that ahead of the last general election, Keir Starmer and Rachel Reeves boxed themselves in by saying they would never change any level of taxation, particularly for the richest in our society. They now have a financial problem. Not very surprising.
And you say Zara Sultana will co-lead it with you, but so far it's been your name announced. You're here doing the interview. Will she really co-lead it? What's her role in all this?
Well, we're working absolutely together on this. She happens to be, as far as I know, at this moment in Coventry. I was in touch with her just a few moments ago, so it's...
I don't know. I feel like your party is just not my favourite name.
All fine. We're working very well together, all of us.
I agree with Abby Wilkinson that this is all great, but we needed it over a year ago. I think I do tend to agree with you on that, but we have it now, and hopefully it's, yeah, I guess also it's kind of, I guess one of the justifications for waiting may have been to say, like, hey, look, we were waiting to show you how bad the Labour Party is and how it's no real place for a leftist. But yeah, this is just what they said. The system is rigged when 4.5 million children live in poverty in the 6th richest country in the world. The system is rigged when giant corporations make a fortune from raising bills. The system is rigged when this government says there is no money for the poor, but billions for weapons of war. We cannot accept these injustices, and neither should you. We will only fix the crises in our society with a mass redistribution of wealth and power. That means taxing the very richest in our society. That means an NHS free from privatisation and bringing energy, water, rail and mail into public ownership. Like, it's honestly so funny that every time you go live, there are loads of people like, no, you can't do that. You can't do that. Like, bro, we did the opposite and it's shit. Like, America is like, look, living in America right now, like, in some ways, maybe better than the UK, but like, in terms of healthcare, fuck me, you don't want to be there unless you have it. Like, here at least you have the NHS looking after people. And you just look at how degraded these services are. Railways, bro, railways are radicalising. Get on a UK railway. Oh, it's always delayed now. It's like £100 for like a ticket for a short journey. Regularly you don't get a seat for some reason. And it's just like, what the fuck is this shit, you know? Like, nationalize it. Why are you sitting here and being like, yeah, I just want to live in a shitty country that has, like, no working services? How about the NHS? The NHS is shit. Like, I'm sorry, the NHS is shit. But it's only shit because of privatisation. Like, the NHS increasingly just doesn't work. I went to the ER 2 years ago. And I mean, actually, there's also the thing. The NHS is shit, but it's still better than that. I'm in Texas and they've been planning a high-speed rail for decades, but instead it's just more highways and more dealerships. Bro, exactly, it's the same shit here. Like, trains can so easily be fixed, right? But there is another thing that, I want to talk about. So, bizarre incident last year. I'm not going into details. A year ago, I lost my phone. I dropped it off the edge of a bridge by accident. And it landed, like, on near a railway track. It was fine, it was in the bushes. But, so I was like, okay, I'll get it back maybe. So I called up the railway, and they were like, yeah, we can't get it. And I was like, okay, why? And they were like, well, because we operate the railway station. They were like, we operate this section of the track that's, like, closed off within the station. They were like, anything outside of that is owned by another company who we don't communicate with. They just show up and do work. And I had to go through a process of, like, calling so many people just to, like, get through to this one guy who was eventually like, yeah, I can do that. And it's just like, what the fuck? How does that make any sense? That, like, parts of the track are owned by different people. It's just, like, shit. It's just utter shit. So, like, anyone who sits there and goes, no, this is a terrible idea. Bro, we gotta try something different. Like, that's just insane. Like, I don't... Like, the level of just bureaucratization... And just like, shit, bro, that is Kafka-esque. That is Kafka-esque. They will not take the risk. What do you mean take the risk? Are you talking about people or getting my phone? Because getting my phone was safe. It wasn't about risk. It was about people. It was about a slightly, like literally, maybe a meter away from the end of their station. Like, owned by someone else. Like, they owned the bushes. Exactly. They were like, no, that section of the rail is owned by a different company. And it's just like, what are you listening? Like, how is this providing us with anything better? And them saying, oh, we don't communicate with each other. Is it any wonder that train lines and trains in the UK are so fucked up when we've privatised them? Capitalism breeds competition. It is literally, when you create a system that prioritises greed over everything else, that tells human beings that the main thing that we should strive towards is accumulating as much capital as possible, you end up in this obscene, stupid situation where people just accept these kind of things as a reality of something that we should just say, yeah, that's okay. Labour are starting to renationalise the railways. I don't really think they are, though. Because you could just do it. Like, I'm sorry. In fact, actually, you know what? Let me tell you something. I think TrueAnon talk about this. Or maybe Y Theory, one or the other. The Republican Party in America just show you that you can do things. The Republican Party just do things. They just do them. And it's not like they have stronger majorities. Keir Starmer right now has a super majority, right? Does he have a super majority? Either way, he has a huge majority. And these kind of things could fucking go through. Like, just do things. I don't want to hear about, like, and I'm not sorry if this comes across as insulting. I don't mean it towards you in that way. What I am saying is just do things. Like, Trump is building fucking alligator Alcatraz. Why can't people just fucking do this kind of shit? Just do it. Just renationalize. Say, hey, no. It's like the water companies. Why do we have to accept that people are taking loads of money whilst they just poison our rivers? It doesn't make sense. They're using it for evil, but it really doesn't take much. No, exactly. I think that, like, yeah, they use it for evil, but you can just do shit. Just do it. The Nike bloody slogan. Capitalism gave us that. They don't get, yes, literally, they don't give an F about legality. Well, I mean, the thing is that no one in politics gives a fuck about legality, so why not use it for the good? Why not use it for good and just and moral and positive things? Why does it always have to be used for evil? They topple democracies over nationalization. Oh, 100%. Like land redistribution. They hate this kind of shit. And of course, if the UK ever did go through something radical, it would come up against the scary big brother, the fucking US. But at the same time, let's stand on it. Use that for a sort of patriotism. Use that for a patriotism against people like fucking Nigel Farage. So, and I think that patriotism is not necessarily a good thing, unless you can kind of use it in a way, in a pride in like England that is like, you know, like England as a society that has historically an amalgamation of so many different peoples, that in terms of like how bad the US was with its racism, of course the UK had problems with racism, but people like Enoch Powell were taken out of government. There were huge protests against these people, you know. Perhaps if you can build a patriotism that is a rejection of being the lackeys of a racist state, that is perhaps something to build around. To just say, get away from America. Hey, we're fucking British. We're not the dogs of America. So, I'm sorry for being passionate, but I feel very strongly about this. I don't really speak about this stuff so often, but I think it's like, just do shit, you know, bro. Oh, 100%. 100%. Investing in public services is a brilliant thing. Like, people would be more willing to, you know, travel around, to go to different places, to spend money, to, like, actually go and visit, like, say, a seaside town that people would never visit anymore, because what's the point of going to some shit place that costs loads of money to get to? Like, what is the point? What, like, your train might be cancelled and all of these things. It's just kind of like this thing of, like, why don't we just have major changes? Just do shit. Like, I'm sorry, I'm not listening to Starmer go like, oh, we're trying to make things better. Make them better. Sorry, you can probably hear the bells going crazy. That means investing in massive council house building program. That means standing up to fossil fuel giants. By the way, did you know, I'm pretty sure I've heard this, the UK government now actually builds less council houses than in the 1980s when Margaret Thatcher banned councils from building houses and gave that away to private companies. Like, we are not building council houses directly because of neoliberal capitalism. That is neoliberalism. Like, why are we still clinging to this shit that has not been working? The problems of housing can be solved. But of course, people aren't willing to confront it because it fundamentally shakes and turns against capitalism, you know? Like the whole fabric of our society that is basically just make as much money as possible and look out exclusively for yourself. Like, I'd say that that's the main thing. Like, that's... Hold on, I'll check that Margaret Thatcher thing. Bands. Dun 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 dun. Here you go. The right to buy housing pricing that Thatcher built. The idea was 19th century housing required that council-built dwellings, blah, 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 blah. Labour councils responding to the squalor and overcrowding of Victorian and the graphic... by the early 70s, some Labour local authorities were even buying up whole streets of decaying inner-city properties from private landlords and turning them into council homes, a tangible and potent demonstration of state power making up for market failure. By 1980, the proportion of all British housing in state hands was large by international standards. I'm sure that she said that she banned it. Feature prominently in the Conservative, in this slim pamphlet, where does it say? Thatcher herself introduced a policy. If you have been a council tenant for at least 3 years, she began, you could buy them, blah, blah, blah. I think it's in here somewhere. Let me just have a look. Okay, but this was a Thatcherite policy. You can read those articles. Chris apologising for the bells going off is tragically British. Thank you, Safety. She started to buy, yeah. But we just look at this. We just look at shit like this and just see, like, the reality of all of this. Like, just look at the reality of the country we live in. That means standing up to fossil fuel giants putting their profits before our planet. Exactly, bro. Why do we want to live on a dying planet that is just increasingly polluted and increasingly hot? And if you say you care about loads of fucking refugees coming here, this is going to provoke the biggest refugee crisis in human history, when people can no longer live where they're from because it's too hot, because it fell into the fucking sea, and all of these things. No. The church bells ring on the hour, yes. Where do we end up? Meanwhile, millions of people are horrified by the government's complicity in crimes against humanity. Now more than ever, we must defend the right to protest against genocide. We believe in the radical idea that all human life has equal value. That is why we will keep demanding an end to all arms sales to Israel. Boom! Wicked! Wicked! They should just, the only thing that they should add to that is we will also militarily intervene against Israel, and for the only path to peace, a free and independent Palestine. Thank you, Sunflower Dragon. Our movement is made up of people of all faiths and none. The great dividers want you to think that the problem in our society are caused by migrants or refugees. They are not. They are caused by an economic system that protects the interests of corporations and billionaires. It is ordinary people who create the wealth, and it is ordinary people who have the power to put it back where it belongs. It's time for the new kind of political party, one that is rooted in our communities, trade unions and social movements, one that builds power in all regions and nations, one that belongs to you. I mean, it's a base statement. Very base statement. That's getting an MF retweet by me. But, like, I hope that this works out, because, bro, we need fucking change. We need fucking change. AB is so cucked by Ethan. Well, it's strange you mention that. We're about to get into that. We're about to watch Ethan Klein's falling out with Steiny. I've accidentally just fast-forwarded to a video about Cersei Lannister, so maybe we should...
Hey, this is your host, Ethan Klein, coming at you live from Los...
I don't know, we'll see how watching this goes, but if it's shit, I will move to... Yeah, volatile weather patterns, you're correct about that. And capitalism has no way to address these things. Because if you're prioritizing profit, there's no way to address these major issues.
Ahead of time. I warned him ahead of time. Don't do it. If you do it, you need to be prepared.
I'm warning you.
They obviously completely failed to have a meaningful conversation with him. But the part that I didn't expect was that after Netanyahu interview was over, they would bring on credible contrasting opinions from Myron, Nick Fuentes, Hassan Piker, and Sneeko. As soon as the Netanyahu interview ends, Myron calls in, and they go, "What's the problem?"
He forgot to mention Mr. Adam Friedland, Mr. Pro-Palestine.
And Myron goes, "Hey guys, I'm just going to put it to you really simply. The Jews," he doesn't say Israeli or Zionist, he says, "the Jews run the American government, and..."
It's a constant fight against capitalism, but we are united by the same struggle. We are not alone. Indeed, I totally agree with you. As human beings, we are all united in the fight for human dignity for all people all over the world. And yes, he looks very sickly. He always looks very sickly. I don't think he's a well man. He spends all of his time, like, up at night screaming and crying about Hassan Piker. Like, you know, most people are suffering because they're thinking about the Gaza genocide, people being starved by Israel. This man is up at night just crying about Hassan.
They did 9/11. They are not our friends. What does Steiny do? He does this. Nothing. This is a guy...
Isn't Steiny Jewish?
Yes.
Okay.
This is a guy who I've had in-depth conversations with about anti-Semitism.
Bro, do you really think, like, the Nelk boys are, like, a great people to be, like... Do you honestly think that they're going to have any understanding of anti-Semitism? Like, they're literally friends with the Trump campaign. He said fucking Shylock not long ago.
And how much he cares about anti-Semitism and how he wants to do more and how he's, you know, he's a tough guy about it. And if they said that to my face, this and that, bro, you are, as far as I'm concerned, the biggest anti-Semite alive.
New title.
And I'll explain why. Maybe not the biggest. He's the biggest coward alive, and I'll explain this. Well, I think I'll tell you why. My first statement. I'll explain why I think he's the biggest anti-Semite. He goes from having Netanyahu, which is the worst representative for the Jewish people. Lets him.
Bro, yeah, Jewish people as a whole, but like of the state of Israel, he's a brilliant representative because he's the head of a genocidal state that is not deeply opposed by his people. Like, I'm sorry, like, this needs to be reiterated over and over again. There has not been a mass protest movement against the Gaza genocide. And also, by the way, here's a base little funny story. A terminally ill 73-year-old Israeli woman has been charged with plotting to assassinate Netanyahu with a rocket launcher. I didn't know it was with a fucking rocket launcher. Imagine if this had actually happened. Imagine some fucking 73-year-old woman with like some terminal illness just lugging around a rocket launcher. Bro, that is insane. I am of course not endorsing political violence because that would not be allowed. But it's just a funny story.
Talk unrestricted. So everyone that already is like anti-Zionist or anti-Semitic is like, yep, that's exactly what we thought. And then to counter that.
But also, by the way, you all know, I watched this interview. You can go back through my stream. Most of the points that Netanyahu made have been made by Ethan. I even thought maybe about making like a fucking short YouTube video called like Ethan Yahoo, where I just go through it and I'm like, this is a point where Ethan has said the same thing.
He brings on Myron, Sneeko, Nick Fuentes, and Hassan Piker, who go, no, don't listen to Netanyahu, who's making you hate Jewish people. Listen to me tell you why actually Jewish people are the problem.
I also love how, like, yeah, 3 of those people would literally tell you that Jewish people are the problem because they are racist bigots. Hassan Piker would say, hey, Jewish people are not the problem. The state of Israel is the problem. But of course, no point engaging with that.
It's like, there's no perspective that's not anti-Semitic. It's from one extreme anti-Semitic view to another extreme.
Whoa, Jesus Christ. Like saying that Hassan is anti-Semitic. Cool, bro.
Anti-Semitic view. And Steiny just sits there like a fucking idiot. I was so upset. I didn't think I was going to message with him. I was just going to be like, bro,
Well, I actually have another video that I've been working on today, which I could, like, workshop a little bit once we're done with this. I'll talk to you about it.
done with you. I was sitting at home last night watching.
God forbid a woman has hobbies.
And just sitting, watching those two bozos sit there and just entertain anti-Semite after anti-Semite. It was so upsetting that I had to text him. I was like, bro, I'll tell you what I said.
When I went home and finished the interview, I was upset. Like, I was upset already, but I was like, man, we let him off too easy because this is fucking horrible. Like, so I'm glad to hear that.
None of us had watched it.
It's also kind of crazy to, like, be this outraged over, like, yeah, I mean, all of those people are bad, apart from Hassan. Love you, Hassan Piker. Very good, nice man. Kiss, kiss, kiss. Love you, Hassan. Thanks for having me on your stream that one time. Kiss, kiss, kiss. Please let me back on your stream, Mr. Piker. But, like, yeah, so, you know, just sort of being mad about that is pretty odd, you know, when, Israel is, when you've just had the leader of the genocide.
Yeah. It had just come out before we went live.
He literally was like, your worst take is that you like a certain fast food.
You like burger.
Adam Friedland. Houston, we got a problem. Houston, we got a problem. God damn, I'm a problem. Damn, I'm a problem. Do any of you know that? I really have had this in my head for ages. The Chet Hanks Adam Friedland EDM remix.
You're scared. Cause ain't no such thing as halfway chets. You're scared to rap, you're scared to smoke your chet. Daddy was at home, he was shaving Ryan's privates. Message to McRyan on AOL, that's private. FOX is the name of the brand of the bookstore. The shop around the corner cut his hand. When your daddy was working with Dave Chappelle, but he sending Meg messages on AOL.
I mean, on the topic of joining a Discord, I'm in too many things currently, but I mean, talk to me about it. Send me a message on Twitter.
Damn, I'm a problem. Houston, we got a problem.
It's just so funny. Like, Ethan Klein is sat there like, yeah, Hassan is arch anti-Semite of the year. And it's just like, hey, he just spoke to fucking Netanyahu. Houston, we got a problem.
Yeah, like it was genuinely like appalling.
They said that?
Yeah, they said that was the most I've disagreed with you so far.
He said that, yeah, that's your worst take, he said.
Dude, it's like, oh, not the murders you've carried out. I don't know.
And so the thing is, too, after the interview,
I love how they're trying to also like direct it towards, hey, maybe we should talk about, you know, Netanyahu, but Ethan's like, yeah, I've texted him and saying he's the worst anti-Semite.
And Kyle both try to spin it like, bro, just look at the comments. Just because we platform someone doesn't mean it's going to go good for them. It doesn't mean we agree with them. It just means that we bring them on and give them their own rope to hang themselves, sort of thing. It's like, that is not what you did. If people don't like him, it's no credit to you. You sat there like fucking idiots for Netanyahu to spew his shit, and then you sat there for idiots for fucking Nick Fuentes, a self-described anti-Semite, to spew his shit. Like, you do nothing except platform the worst people alive with zero.
Oh God! I like just in the same category. Like, yeah, Nick Fuentes, horrible individual. Like, Nazism is an awful ideology. It is similar to the most extremes of Zionism, and it is it is a form of identity politics which justifies exterminating human beings on the basis of them being a subhuman race. And that is what Zionists and the Zionist project have done to Palestinians.
Responsibility, zero ethical, critical.
And like, but yet you're more focused on the person who talks about that than the person actually doing that.
Assessment. And again, this conversation is so dumb. You can interview whoever the fuck you want, as long as you responsibly platform them. It takes a lot of preparation to responsibly platform somebody.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. This isn't really like a show about anything beyond Ethan Klein airing personal grievances and crying.
Like Netanyahu, or even someone like Nick Fuentes, who has all these niche little stories about anti-Semitism that if you're not studied up on him, you're not going to know anything to say about it. And it'll be like, yeah, the dancing Israelis, you know, they did 9/11, and it's like, what? You know?
He somehow was able to make both sides of.
Bro, like, of course, you know, like, but at the same time, it's like, bro, you had Netanyahu on.
Well, it's not even the same. Like, you can't even compare it because one's the devil. Like Netanyahu's the devil, but he somehow made people who are pro-Israel look bad, and people who are pro-Palestinian look bad by bringing on fucking Myron and fucking these other anti-Semites.
That's my problem, is that he came at it. He's perpetuating.
But also, by the way, it made people from Israel look bad. Bro, that's the guy doing genocide in the name of the Zionist project. That's the guy doing genocide in the name of Israel. Like, big difference there. But, just, you know.
Anti-Semitism twofold. In the worst ways possible. The worst ways possible. What a utter fucking failure. What a failure.
Chill. Dude, let me ask you this. I mean, I think I know the answer to this question, but I've interviewed a shitload of people, right? And I always did a ton of prep. If I had to interview Netanyahu, like, I'm not plugged in that world every day. It would take me a week working 12-hour days to get ready for that.
You know how long I prepped for the Hassan debate?
How long?
Something like that.
Yeah, so what do you...
Bro was sat there using ChatGPT, literally just spewing out the most basic pro-Israel talking points. Like, that took you 12 hours of prep. Maybe read a fucking book instead. Read a book. Knowledge, bro.
You think they did before this interview?
Nothing. They say that. They say at the very beginning, they're like, hey, listen, just so you guys know, we shouldn't be doing this. That's what they say, literally. They go, we should not be doing this. We should not be doing this. We don't know anything about this, but we're going to do it anyway. And then afterwards...
I don't think Ethan realizes how much he's done to muddy the waters that allowed Steiny to be okay with putting Nick Fuentes on. Yeah, I mean, like, if you are genuinely putting Hassan in the same kind of like the same kind of crop of people as people like Nick Fuentes, you are the problem.
They're trying to salvage this thing by being like, yo, guys, we told you up front, we shouldn't be doing this. We don't know anything. I didn't realize he was even saying shit like, oh, your worst take is that he's Burger King.
The whole thing was Netanyahu saying we're so relatable. You know, we're just like Americans. And actually, it's not just about protecting Israel. It's about protecting you. It was fucking insane.
It was let's humanize the killing of Palestinians. It was genuinely just like, what are we... I can't believe they had fucking access to that, and I can't believe that it was carried out. I genuinely just like, it is so dangerous that such stupid people have access to such powerful stupid people.
Mm-hmm. And to add on to what you said, Tom, like, I think Hassan said there's no circumstances in which I would interview Netanyahu, and I think Netanyahu's like the one exception.
That's not true. He said he would interview Netanyahu.
I from what I saw, he said no, unless it's at a different point. But
no, he said.
I mean, to be honest, if you gave an opportunity to just sit there and like grill Netanyahu, like, most people would take it. But at the same time, I just don't know what the point is, because it's never going to happen.
He would. Although I'm sure, he said, I'm equipped to interview Netanyahu. Meanwhile, again, he goes...
Ethan's equipped as well, because they would literally agree on so much. Bro, I am not exaggerating. If we went through that video of me talking about, like, all of the things of, like, how similar the two of them are in terms of their talking points, you'd be shocked. There are so many similarities.
I heard you guys have this video. He goes, you guys asked him about Burger King and McDonald's. like, which is crazy. And then you crash cut to Hassan being like, yo, there's KFC in Yemen, bro.
Bro, asking like someone who is not even a member of the Houthis, just literally someone from Yemen, is so different. Like, honestly, drawing equivalence between these two shows the world that Ethan Klein lives in. Like, in fact, comparing Israel and the American Empire to any group in the world is just despicable.
No way. What a fucking hack loser bitch that guy is. Fuck him.
Do the hamburger with your dick in your
I
mouth.
love that they invited Hassan Piker on to nestle in so comfortably with Myron, Nick Fuentes, and Sneeko. He has the same valuable opinion as all of them on the topic of Israel. He's a valuable voice in the panel of great anti-Semitic fucking lunatics. So, by the way, I was invited to participate in that panel. You know what? I didn't want to have anything to do with it. How about that?
That is an option.
We just should not be doing this.
I don't want to have anything to do with that shit. And Hassan looked dumb as fuck, in my opinion, participating in that.
It's so funny. He's just so mad about Hassan. He's just so mad about Hassan. That is literally it.
He did. He never even offered any substantial criticism. He just sits there and morally grandstands and moralizes the whole time about how it's like, you guys shouldn't be doing this. You're not prepared for this.
Why is he not mentioning Adam Friedland? Like, does he mention Adam Friedland? I'm surprised he could resist not desiring to call Adam Friedland a capo. Like, this guy loves saying that shit.
It's like, bitch, you literally sat there and took a fucking cum shot to your face from a literal terrorist.
Whoa. Well, even what was that video?
I don't know. I don't know why I painted it like that.
I'm sad.
You took there and took a glazing from a literal terrorist.
Your wife is a terrorist! Your wife, you admitted that your wife is a terrorist. His wife is more of a terrorist than Rashad al-Haddad is. Like, 100%. His wife is someone who took part in an army which took human shields at that time, which had just got off the back of the first Intifada, where, like, people always go on about, like, oh, the Intifada is so bad for Israelis. Even during the second Intifada, where 1,000 Israelis died, 4,000 Palestinians were killed, plus huge amounts of curfews, house demolitions. Like, look at this. Strict curfews were enforced in Nablus, Jenin and Tulkarm. The Nablus lockdown lasted for over 100 days. We all sat there and cried about, like, a lockdown. Sure, our lockdowns lasted a longer time, but imagine 3 months of lockdown where if you go outside, you are going to get shot. And, like, people, like, his wife was in the army, like, a year after that.
Who justifies the taking of 12 innocent Philippine...
Your wife was in the army that takes innocent Palestinian protesters who dare to challenge the occupation regime into prison. Like, they do arrest protesters. They have been cracking down on non-violent protest for an unbelievable amount of time. You platform people like Lonabox, who seeks to obfuscate what happened during the Great March of Return and make it seem as if, actually, yeah, there was a high rate of military members of Hamas killed, even though these weren't people carrying weapons, and their example of, oh, this was really violent, and this makes it okay. Like, he really muddied the water about an event where 30,000 Palestinians were wounded, hundreds had to have amputations, hundreds upon hundreds were shot.
Civilians for a year. Anyway, but that's not really the point. The point is that
no shot. That fast food cut with Hassan and Nelk, and then Hassan asking Rashad the question was on the Destiny fan subreddit. Oh, I mean, yeah, I mean, like, this is like the person who sponsors his show is literally Destiny's co-host.
This whole thing was such a disaster that I had to say no more. Oh yeah, I was looking for the text.
You're gonna leak DMs?
I'm not.
You got receipts?
Yeah. Yeah, bro.
Yo, I got a text.
I don't want to read what he said because this is, like, I guess, private. But I can read what I said.
You can leak your own message.
Yeah, I can read my own.
I guess that's fair.
Let me find where this started.
You're scrolling for a while. You guys haven't. It seems like this was a long back and forth.
No, it's just.
No, you don't know the crimes that the guy Healer arrested did. But, like, a lot of non-violent protesters. Non-violent protesters. As Andy Clarno puts it, the main method of participation in the Second Intifada was non-violent resistance. Some of the Palestinian reaction to Israeli policy has consisted of non-violent resistance. Blah, 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 blah. Non-violent tactics have sometimes been met with Israeli military force. Amnesty International notes that 10-year-old, 11-year-old, and 13-year-old were among 8 unarmed demonstrators killed in May 19th, 2004. He said he was proud of his wife's service in an army that was doing that, like, literally 2 years before she joined. Like, they kill and wound and massacre innocent people and have been for years.
I'm trying to find where it starts. Here, it's somewhere right here.
You're just a boomer, that's all.
All right, I said this.
Oh, I see.
Bro, you are such a fuck up. I was so upset.
Guns blazing.
I wasn't going to message him. I was so upset. You are such a fuck
Yeah, the amount of likes is really low.
up. Don't ever talk to me about anti-Semitism again. You are the same as any of those Nazis. You are one of them. What are you talking about? Ignorance is an excuse for platforming Sneeko, Myron, Nick Fuentes, and Hassan. But
Hassan is a Nazi. Bro, like, what are you fucking talking about?
the fuck is wrong?
You have literally been platforming. Like, this guy has been platforming fucking Legal Mindset. Legal Mindset, there is literally a stream on his channel where he says, he refers to Johnny Somali as a monkey. There are videos of him talking about how you should go to Thailand and that there's, like, sex workers there, that you can get that. And he literally has a channel about being a passport bro. He has a video called The Myth of St. Floyd Debunked. You have platformed him. He was on fucking Myron Gaines' podcast talking about how George Floyd is not a saint. Like, what is this?
Wrong with you? Bro, you think that was my decision? Yes.
I think you're missing someone from that list.
Yeah.
The thing is,
Like, genuinely, he's sending him an email. He's sending him a message about how he's upset about anti-Semitism, but not about them platforming. Not them platforming fucking Netanyahu. Maybe that's not in the messages we see.
I feel like nobody's even agreeing with Netanyahu. Everybody's watching that and seeing it for like just a bunch of bullshit.
God,
and the comments are all terrible. The upvotes are terrible.
Ethan looks sad here because he's hearing his own Hasbara talking points debunked.
And then he brings on a bunch of fuck. And then the people they're agreeing with, his audience, are with these people. The people who he's agreeing with, right, in the comments and in chat, the live chat, is Sneeko, Myron, Nick Fuentes. If you go to the live chat, you go to the comments, those are the ones who are getting facts. Netanyahu, I don't think gained anything from doing that interview because
they have literally, bro, why are you surprised about that? Those people are all aligned with Trump. Nick Fuentes, Myron Gaines, and who's the other one he was talking about? Sneeko. They're all aligned with Trump. Their fan base loves it when they interview Trump.
You just look like even more of a
he looks dumb. He's bad at doing propaganda. He just looks cartoonishly evil, and they look cartoonishly dumb for just sitting there nodding along. So obviously, they're obviously platforming him was a huge mistake. Just because if they brought someone that was prepared, or if they prepared, I mean, I don't think they could ever prepare or be capable of having that conversation. It could have been an interesting conversation. I don't think Netanyahu would have consented to participate in something like that. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I have not seen one person anywhere.
By the way, this is categorically fake. It's probably bad, but that's fake.
On the internet, say, "Good job, fellas."
Hassan should literally just never talk about Ethan again unless he absolutely has to. Ethan has nothing to offer, but exactly. And I mean, I think that like personally, bigger content creators probably should take that path. But like ultimately, I'm not a very big content creator. And there are so many people who cover like this kind of drama stuff. And at least there's some kind of worth of like exposing this guy's campaign that has been months long, that has involved like basically working alongside the ADL to demonize Twitch, you know, and exposing like, hey, this is just not actually interested in what he's like. He doesn't actually care about this.
This interview really changed my perspective on the war.
Right, Not even 32K likes is scary. I mean, I'm glad they're getting fucking roasted, but
man, it's a miss for that place.
Bro, I think
it's a no, don't get me wrong, it's definitely a miss. But
what's their viewership? Pull that up again.
The video's at 1.2 million.
You guys, I don't know if I said on the show on Monday, but I could have guessed what color tie he was gonna wear because politicians and lawyers and all that, they're very particular.
Why do you think?
Blue means trust. Trust me.
What does red mean?
Red means power.
No, yellow is power, I believe.
Oh, what's
Who wears
red?
yellow? Nobody wears yellow.
According to who?
I don't know, man. You're almost a 1K Andy. That's only because I'm doing this. Normally it's about 400 to 500.
Wait, what?
No, they know
the
all
power
this
tie.
shit.
Yeah, yellow's not power. Yellow's
Politicians, lawyers,
friendship.
they know this
Yeah,
shit.
dude.
Red tab.
Red
What does
tab.
a yellow tie represent?
I never
Support the
seen
troops
someone wear
or something.
yellow.
I'm saying, who's the authority?
powerful and
Who's the
commanding.
council? Who do I go to with a complaint?
Council of
I've heard
Five.
you should wear yellow if you're apologizing too.
Oh.
Red is confidence and power.
Exactly. Thank you.
Okay.
And blue is trust.
He. By the way, I don't know why they're all doing this. The reason he wore a blue tie is because he's the Israeli Prime Minister. Let's actually check that. Oh no, he sometimes does wear a red tie when he's with... Oh wait, actually look. Here's a photo of Trump and Netanyahu where Trump is wearing the blue. Ooh, maybe there is more to this tie business than I know.
Trust me, fellas.
Which one if you're just feeling a little silly today?
Green.
That's one of the ones with like planets on it.
You're right, exactly.
Yeah.
Homer
No,
Simpson,
no, no,
like a Bill Nye tie.
No, you need a piano key necktie, like Makazi.
yeah.
That's the ticket right there.
So I mean,
they asked him if he knows what aura means, by the way.
If he knows what
Aura means.
Like your aura?
What Hunter x Hunter reference? Does
No,
he
like-
does
like
Ben men?
No,
I'm
it's
saying
like
that's what they call their.
It's a W aura.
They like to call their.
Brown is for poop. Ethan is wearing a brown cap.
Life power aura.
I think the kids are onto something with this aura thing.
What do you
But like also, by the way, all of these people know that if they dare to push back and say, hey, like maybe you should be a bit more focused on Netanyahu and them interviewing him and why that's so bad. Like seemingly Ethan's only real concern so far about that has been that he's a bad representative of Israelis and Jewish people. Like what?
Does he know what aura is?
He said, yeah.
You know like what aura farming is? You seen that around? Yeah. It's like if you're standing there just looking cool as fuck, you're farming aura.
There was no aura in that room though.
Yeah. No. Well, there's an aura, but it's a bad aura.
I'm putting it 2 times.
It was all.
speed.
There was no aura. There was no positive aura in there.
You're right.
Room.
What
So
a
like,
boring
my thing with Stein, he's like, I told him ahead of time, don't do this. Be prepared. You're a fucking idiot. He did exactly what I told him not to do. And the interview was a total disaster, and everybody in that room looked bad. What surprised me is that he brought on to counter Netanyahu, and there are lots of good people he could have brought on to give a meaningful counter narrative to Netanyahu.
This is all he is talking about.
Sneeko or Myron coming on immediately afterwards, the very first call, and saying Jews did 9/11.
Myron from Fresh and Fit, by the way.
Like also, by the way, there is probably something to say about that, like having a guy who's very obviously awful, like Netanyahu, and then bringing on people who are anti-Semitic afterwards. But like, also at the same time, like, they just had on the guy leading a genocide, you know. I like your sincerity regarding Ethan, regarding your thank you, Thomas.
We have a lot of history with Myron, so we're on a first name basis, but most people know him as
Myron, who, by the way, when
also, by the way, I saw something that was kind of comical. The top post on the top post, one of the top posts I saw on the H3 Reddit was this. Let me have a look. Oh fuck, I've lost it. There was a post on the Reddit by... Oh, I'll see if I can find it. Hold on. I need to go through my history and look for it. Here we go. Oh, motherfucker. Ah, the post has been deleted, but it was like Hamas did behead babies. Let me see if I can find it. If there's anything left of this, here's the top post was literally Hamas did decapitate babies, or like one of them. I just want to see if I can find it. No, okay, it's not here, but like there was a post with like 500 likes in the H3 Reddit saying Hamas did behead babies. Chris, flex a bicep. Bro, you know, there you go.
Confronted with his anti-Semitism on our show, got real fucking quiet. Real quiet.
Like literally just stopped talking.
Yeah.
It was very funny, actually.
Whatever you
just,
say.
Like, he knew he was trapped, so he literally just... I'm not
whatever you say.
anymore.
But Steiny is too much of a fucking idiot to actually... So anyway, they bring Myron on, first person. And he immediately... Pull it up. Fuck it. Let me show you.
Is this all he's going to do? Just complain about...
Not an excuse for platforming these people. What the fuck is wrong with you? He said something to the effect of, that wasn't my decision. And I said, you sat there, bro. I'm out.
Bro, you have been putting legal mindset on your story. Like, is this all he's going to do? Because I saw there were some more interesting clips to talk about.
And he goes, well, I asked you to be there, something to that effect. And I said, why the fuck would I want to participate in that? Grow a spine. Tell them you aren't going to sit there with him. Sneeko, Hassan, Myron, don't sit there and listen to them, bro.
Oh my god, is this literally just him whining about Hassan?
Go spine. Walk off the fucking screen. Jesus Christ, dude. I said you showed Netanyahu who is the worst of us, who everybody hates, and then you bring on a bunch of anti-Semites to counter it. It's a fucking anti-Semitism party. Fuck you. Right? He says something to the effect of, I didn't do anything.
Jesus.
I said, you are a coward. You are
How old is
spineless.
he?
Old enough to know better.
I have no,
They're both 30 years old.
no say. Like, how old are
30
you?
plus?
He's 35.
35? He might be. I think he's in his
They
30s.
said it's 30 in the interview.
Yeah, 30.
Okay, so not that far from
28.
Then he tries to hit me with one of these. He goes, bro, you have falling outs with people all the time.
Okay.
Your fans are angry at me, so you drop me. Which is, listen, dude, I don't care. Whatever, let's just talk about the issue here, okay? To which I responded, you're a coward, man. You're spineless. So you grow spine and stand up for yourself and for the right thing.
Yeah, I mean, that is why he's mad. It's just bad Hasbara. So he's going to claim anti-Semitism because Likud fucked up the Velk Boys interview. No, he's claiming anti-Semitism because they platformed some people who are genuinely anti-Semites. But, like, so far, we're nearly, like, I mean, I'm barely listening at this point. We're 18 minutes in, and his problem has literally just been with, yeah. But the Zionists did do 9/11. No, they didn't. No, they didn't. Like, the Zionists did not do 9/11. Like, Al-Qaeda did 9/11. And, like, if you want to listen to, like, stuff about 9/11, has been posted on the Leftovers H3. Has it? I want to see if I can find that, because I actually think that's worth looking at. Because I looked into this, because I looked at this post. There is no truth to what they're saying, and there's no truth to a lie Ethan is going to tell in a second. Hold on.
Instead of talking big, BTS, I don't care. You aren't with us. Says you're delusional. I said, okay, bro, enjoy. And then he keeps messaging. He sent me some voice notes, which I just listened to. I couldn't listen to them until this morning on the way to work. I listened to them, but it was just a bunch of bullshit.
Did he sing you an apology song?
No, it was just like this whole like, bro, come on, we're bros. Like, how you gonna fucking ditch me when I'm down?
I said it on Monday before he even said it, that he thought in his mind that's gonna be like Tate or OJ, and that when you're telling him not to do it.
Well, like, I mean, it's just like, yeah, okay, probably he shouldn't have done it, but like, also the problem is it's been done, and you're sat here, like, you're sat with your boss fuming about this. Your boss isn't giving like a long explanation of, hey, why this was so inappropriate. He's just like, yeah, Netanyahu's a bad representative of Israel. Is he back on the Hassan is anti-Semitic train? Oh, I mean, all he does is say Hassan is anti-Semitic. During the debate, didn't he literally admit that Hassan is not anti-Semitic? Like, didn't he literally say that Hassan is not anti-Semitic? I feel like he did. And that the bleach sword wasn't like a Nazi thing, but, you know, it's not what he's interested in.
Well, he's thinking, oh, because you're used to your woke audience. Not, you know, he has no idea he ended up saying that after, and that you know, I've had OJ had hate on, but yeah, he had no idea.
Duh. Well, also
the OJ one's a bad example because they actually did.
Yeah, the
confront
OJ one was
on
also
his
set up
crime.
to ask him like if he did it or some shit.
But even if they didn't,
the Tate one's more
OJ times 100,000.
The Tate one, I mean, Tate is a terrible person, and there's no excuse for platforming him either.
Yeah.
It just so happens that all the people in their audience who love Tate also, incidentally, are hating Netanyahu too. Probably because they're more closer to Myron and Nick Fuentes in their assessment of Jewish influence.
On that same wave.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And then when Myron goes, yo, the Jews are not our friends. They did 9/11, and they're trying to drag America into a war. Not Israelis, not Zionists, the Jews, he says. And then this is Kyle's reaction. He goes, what? Are you serious, dude?
Bro, are you serious right now, bro?
Where's that? Let me pull that up.
Yo, can you put on Astroworld?
Bro, you dead ass right now?
Are you fucking dead ass?
I'm shocked that you can be their age.
Then he said it towards the end. He said he wasn't anti-Semitic, but also said he was worse than Nick Fuentes. Yeah, I mean, this is kind of the point. Like, all this guy cares about is Hassan Piker. Like, let's be frank here. Like, he doesn't care about anti-Semitism. It is literally when it is only a means to just demonize Hassan that he talks about it.
And it be the year 2025, and you've just never. That's the first time you're ever hearing people talk about 9/11 conspiracies. Like, that's been going around for 20 years, my man. That's not new.
The Jews did 9/11?
Yeah.
This is huge. Do other people know this?
Also, by the way, people just want to believe conspiracy theories because it's easier than like understanding that or like confronting the fact that the U.S. the U.S. government is so inept and their security department is so inept that they managed to let that happen.
There's no one talking about this.
Oh my God, man. Baby, do we have?
We don't have that specific timestamp, but this is the VOD, but I can find.
Do you have that? Yeah, I want the timestamp to where they all start.
Are we getting?
Oh yeah, this is where they all start. I have where they all start.
Cut this off with an ad in about 8 minutes.
All right, I'm just gonna watch the beginning of this. This is the part.
Erasure is the worst thing. Yeah, I also don't know why he's so upset about talking about it. So he can call you Muscle Milhouse. Well, Milhouse becomes muscly in The Simpsons, doesn't he? But like, also, by the way, let's just like, I think the most important thing with understanding this is, why does Nick Fuentes hate Jewish people? Well, Nick Fuentes blames Jewish people for American society's decline. He blames them for America's problem. He engages in identity politics where they are like the degraders of the white race. That is what Hitler talked about. Hitler and the Nazis described Jews as a parasitic race. And the reason that the Nazis were so obsessed with Jewish people and their extermination was so prominent over others was because they described Jews as a non-race. They basically said that what a Jew did that was so dangerous was that they would be able to infiltrate the other races. So theoretically, a communist was less dangerous, even though there's actually a statistic that if you asked a Nazi in the 1940s who was their main enemy, they would actually say the communists. A communist could theoretically be converted to the project of Nazism, although they just ended up exterminating them because people with political convictions like that aren't going to convert because they believe in something very, 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 very fucking different. But Nick Fuentes believes or hates Jewish people because of identity politics. That's why he hates Jewish people. Hassan, on the other hand, hates Israel because he wants to see a just world in which all human beings are treated with dignity, equality. He doesn't want to see Palestinians being slaughtered and oppressed and the world justifying that. And that is consistent with all the other things Hassan believes. That is consistent with all the other activism he does around trans people, around workers' rights, around all of these things. So why on earth are you actually pushing this idea that Hassan is somehow similar to Nick Fuentes and all these other people?
That got me so triggered where I told him.
And yes, it is exactly what European far right says about Muslims. And also, by the way, that is literally, I've spoken about this. There is a guy called Evans Gordon. I think his name, Evans Gordon, Aliens UK. I think it might be William Evans Gordon. I will pull this up and I will talk about it over and over again. Because conservatives who are spewing Islamophobic conspiracy theories are the modern day Nazis. Let me just read you this. This is Evans Gordon. The Alien Immigration Act, based on reports he had made to the Royal Commission in which he deals with what he calls the Jewish question. He stated that the settlement of large aggregations of Hebrew in a Christian land has never been successful. Hebrew colony, unlike any other alien colony in Great Britain, forms a solid and permanently distinct block, a race apart as it were, in an enduring island of extraneous thought and customs, to the extent that east of Aldgate one walks into a foreign town. Aldgate is a part of London that was had a lot of Jewish people. That's like what anti-Semitism looks like. They're the same people.
I'm like, bro, you're the biggest loser in the world.
Steiny looks horrible. Did he get fat?
No, he's actually pretty.
Does he look okay?
I give him credit where it's due. He's pretty trim.
Is he okay?
He's got a nice fuckable twink hair body. It's true. You've seen him. You've seen him seated up on that.
I've not seen his tight fuckable little whatever. Anything.
You've seen him arch his back, bro. You know he got that thing.
He does look good there.
All right, here. This is the first call after the interview with as I called him on Monday.
This is fire content, by the way.
Benjamin Netanyahu, which I said without batting an eye.
Netanyahu.
Benjamin Netanyahu. No, that was.
They've been recycling anti-Semitic cartoons. Oh, like this really began. Anti-Semitic tropes were repurposed very quickly. I'll show you. Here's an example of it. So following the oil crisis, when the Arab world or like certain countries cut off oil in relation to Israel's treatment of the Palestinians, look at these cartoons. Look at that. Big nose, greedy. these are similar to anti-Semitic tropes. Oh, sorry, you probably can't see it. Oh, you can see it. But yeah, these are similar to anti-Semitic tropes.
Was pretty good.
Wait, you just switched the letters.
That's what I said on Monday without noticing because I saw a clip. And the top comment, which was true, was like, I don't think he could have done this if he tried to, which is true. I don't think so either. I practiced. Benjamin Netanyahu. Anyway, go ahead, Myron. Tell us why Benjamin Netanyahu.
When are you going to get a streaming soundboard? What to do with?
Who there's a million ways to debunk him in like a holistic, humanistic, like way that is speaking directly against.
I was looking for that Reddit post. Hold on. Here you go. It saddens me that I even have to say this, but after watching yesterday's episode, I realised many of you and the crew do not actually know what happened on October 7th, thanks to the mountains of misinformation and lies. I don't know the exact number of babies who were decapitated, none. It's definitely not 40 as the media portrayed at the beginning, but babies were beheaded. There are photos of burnt headless babies, there are not. And burnt baby heads. You can find some of those photos and evidence in the Hamas massacre site, which I'll link below. These photos don't exist that this guy's talking about, and that had like 500 upvotes. Sorry. That had like 500 upvotes on the H3 Reddit.
The IDF, the
Maybe I shouldn't have worn the vest. At least it's better than on TikTok. There's some guy who just like messages me like, can I take you out for a drink whenever I'm in a vest? And then just a couple of other people who just thirst consistently.
war cabinet, but also is expressing like humanistic whole opinions that respect the dignity of innocent people involved on both sides. Let's hear what Myron has to say.
What's your opinion on that? Just your overall opinion, us having a world leader on, as we said.
Look, he's a war criminal, bro. He's currently wanted by the ICC. He's killed, like, for example, one of the things he lied about was like, oh, they were burning babies alive. That's not true. A lot of the shit that happened on October 7th was a lie. There was no mass rapes. There was no beheaded babies.
Whoa.
That's also, by the way, like, an instances of sexual violence occurring, plausible, but mass rape did not happen categorically on October the 7th. Israel has never, ever, ever been able to prove that. Ever. Israel has never proved that. And babies. Right. Let's look at this. So this is from Barron's, by AFP, Agence France Presse. Blah, 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 blah. According to AFP tally based on data from Israeli authorities, only 2 children under the age of 5 were confirmed killed during the onslaught. 9-month-old Mila Cohen was shot dead with her father in their shelter in Be'eri, near Gaza, while her mother survived. At Nir Oz, the body of 2-year-old Omer Kadam Semantov was found burned, along with his sisters, 5-year-old twins Shahar and Arbel. So there was one baby ostensibly burnt on October the 7th. Now, I want to see if I can find somewhere. Okay, so this is a UN report. I want to see what it says about Near Oz. But there definitely was an event. Hold on. I'll see if I can find it on Twitter. Okay, so Israeli army says hostage likely mistaken killed by IOF helicopter during abduction. Efrat Katz originally reported to have been killed by terrorists in her home at Nir Oz. So at Nir Oz, there are examples. Either way, if a baby is killed, people should be held to account for war crimes. But if you continue to go on and on about this whilst you are not posting about mass starvation in Gaza, the fact that babies are regularly being burnt alive, being killed in the Gaza Strip, then I struggle to see this. And also, by the way, why Ethan talks about this is to make sure that you maintain the vision that Hamas and Palestinians are the evil of all evil. That, Hamas specifically in Ethan Klein's vision, but what he doesn't or is unwilling to confront is that feeds into this wider thing of Hamas are like the Nazis, which is, he even does it in his lawsuit, talking about the Mufti and trying to compare Hassan to the Mufti, someone who was associated with the Nazis.
He starts doing the Hannibal directive thing where it's like, actually, the IDF killed all the civilians, which is, again, an insane fucking... and this is... Hassan is really even rubbing up against this type of shit. As far as the records show, there was maybe 10 of the 800 civilians killed that were by accidental friendly fire.
Oh, really?
Oh, maybe 8.
Yeah, dude.
Like that.
That's...
Where is Ethan getting that statistic from? So, IDF ordered Hannibal directive on October 7th to prevent Hamas from taking hostages. One case in which it is known that civilians were hit, a case that received wide coverage, took place in the house of Pessi Cohen at Kibbutz Be'eri. 14 hostages were held in the house as the IOF attacked it, with 13 of them killed. So Ethan's just saying something there, as always, where we don't know where he got that from. He's not sourcing it, he's just saying it because, you know, I don't think his fans really care about what he says and his supporters. They're just going to believe it.
Bro, he fucking was just saying, look
at this.
If you guys mass rapes, that's not true. A lot of the shit that happened on October 7th
There were
was a
mass
lie.
rapes. There's just the evidence is mounting, piling on. It's spilling.
What is the mass evidence? Like, Israel has not produced this. And by the way, if Israel had all of this evidence, by the way, why do they continually deny a UN investigation, like an independent investigation, to go in and look at what they're doing? Like, why is that just not allowed? Like, why is that not a thing that we can find out about? So actually, near Oz, so it could well have been that Hamas burnt them, but, you know, Israel allows no investigation.
Spilling over. They can't even hold in one stack. It's like you can counter Netanyahu without lying about October 7th. Who does that help?
There was no mass
Look at this
rapes.
idiot.
There was no beheaded babies.
Whoa,
There
whoa,
was no...
whoa. Really?
Oh, yeah, dude. Like that's bro. He fucking was just in. Look, if you guys want me to really go through this, I can.
I mean, what the fuck are we doing here? This is weaponized ignorance. These are the dumbest people alive.
For sure.
And Myron is not sharp by any means. I guess he's a good. He's not the
dumbest guy alive. He's not as smart as he thinks he is. Let's.
It's also, by the way, just so funny that he has posted Legal Mindset over and over again, and so have his Reddit, and he was literally on Myron Gaines' podcast having like a friendly conversation with him.
Yeah. He's good at he's good at talking unchallenged.
Sure.
You know, because you've seen when he gets challenged, he goes. Whoop. He gets real quiet. He gets real submissive when he gets challenged.
Huh? He says, "Get out." Whenever a girl pushes back, he
oh
says,
yeah, get out.
Yeah.
Right. Real submissive behavior. And let's just see that again from Steiny's perspective.
Okay. It was no true. He's killed. Like for example, one of the things he lied about was like, oh, they were burning babies alive. That's not true. A lot of the shit that happened on October 7th.
The burning babies alive thing is not true. And again, the way that whole conspiracy blew up was it was never even reported by the IDF or any official government source. It was reported by some weird fucking journalist on the ground who misspoke, and then it got repeated.
Do you know who this was actually reported by? So David Sheen has written a lot about this. 2 top Israeli officers who invented tales of non-existent Jewish children and babies murdered on October 7th were among the army commanders who have led the genocidal destruction of the Gaza Strip. Like dismissing this and just saying, yeah, it was a few crazy journalists on the ground. No, this was literally people who are like fundamental to the genocide in the Gaza Strip. Ethan repeated it as well. Yeah, you're right. And also, you had Joe Biden dismissing that as just like something out of hand and going like, nah, you know, that just like was some crazy thing that like a couple of journalists on the ground said. Motherfucker, here is the guy. Like, this is a guy who has been key in exterminating the Gaza Strip. Colonel Golan Vach, his brother, Yehuda Vach, is regularly with Israel Katz, Israel's Minister of Defense. These are the people who believe these things, who spread these things. You are just dismissing this as like, oh, it was just a couple of crazy people. It's crazy. Crazy. Brigadier General Barak Hiram helped manufacture consent for the annihilation of Gaza by falsely claiming that Palestinian fighters had executed 8 children in Kibbutz Be'eri. Hiram and Vach later leveraged that consent to carry out war crimes, jointly creating kilometre-wide corridors of death, bisecting the strip. But also, by the way, Ethan speaks so much about this, like, is literally giving like, oh, I can't believe this, they're saying this about that. Like, motherfucker, you had Lonabox on, who's got that clip of him being like, oh, Israel doesn't do this. You have your wife on, who said that she denied that Israel did war crimes every day. And you said that you were proud that your wife served in it.
Be'eri 424/2. A report by David Sheen for Electronic Intifada. Boots Be'eri resident Pessi Cohen. Hamas fighters held civilians captive and demanded safe passage to Gaza. 2 days later, on 9 October 2023, one captive told her survival story. Yasmin Porat and her partner fled the Nova Party and took refuge at Be'eri. She guessed there were about 12 captives. The exact number was 15. Her account is later corroborated by the other civilians to survive the battle.
והיינו בערך 12 אנשים, שרובם הם אנשים בערך בגיל 65, אנחנו סביב 40 ושני נערים בני 14-15, בן ובת. אנחנו יושבים שם איתה.
Someone just said source electronic intifada. I'll tell you one thing about the electronic intifada. It is certainly better than the Israeli government.
בערך 40 מחבלים בחצר, בבית. כולם בערך בשנות ה-20 לחייהם, היו שם אולי 5-6 בגיל היה 30. ואז אני רואה שטל, הורידו לו חולצה, הוא היה לבוש עם ג'ינס וחולצה, אפשר לראות את זה גם בתמונה שפורסמה מהמסיבה שלנו. פתאום אני רואה אותו שהוא בלי חולצה, ואותו קשור ככה עם ידיים מאחורה עם הזיכונים. אני חושבת, הוא היחיד, כן, בדיוק הוא היה לבוש עם החולצה האדומה הזאת, וג'ינס. ואני חושבת שבגלל שהוא גבר יחסית צעיר וחזק, כי מתוך ה-12 בני ערובה שהיינו, תכף אני אגיע לזה, הוא היחיד שהיה אזוק. דרך אגב, היו מאוד אנושיים כלפינו. הוא אמר לי, תסתכלי עליי טוב, אנחנו לא נעבור אתכם. אנחנו רוצים לקחת אתכם לעזה.
It's also so crazy that you hear, like, this is, and someone saying, like, source is electronic intifada. This is like a video of Yasmin Porat, who appeared on Israeli news. This is from Israeli news. Like her saying that we were treated humanely by them. Because also, it runs completely contra to the logic of what Hamas were actually trying to do, which is take as many hostages as possible back to the Gaza Strip.
לא הולכים להרוג אתכם. תהיי רגועה, לא הולכת למות. ככה הוא אמר לי במילים האלה. ופתאום מטח יריות כאילו מהימ"מ אלינו. כולנו התחלנו לרוץ לחפש מחסה. הם נהרגו מרסיסים, הם לא נהרגו כי רצחו אותם. הם נהרגו מהירי. היה שם ירי מטורף על הבית. מטורף. טנק הגיע וירה בפגזים. אז היה.
2 days later, the general who led Israel in that battle told another story. Brigadier General Barak Hiram. There were 20 terrorists and 18 Israeli citizens. Out of them, only 4 were rescued still alive. Days later, an Israeli colonel gives a different account of the battle. Colonel Golan Vach arrived at the house hours after the battle on 7 October. Commanding the army's rescue unit, Colonel Vach came to collect bodies. A week later, on 14 October 2023, Colonel Vach gave tours of the house. Colonel Vach explained how the house was destroyed by Israeli tanks.
And also, this is not something happening, like, just straight after. This is like a week later that they're doing this.
Tank shelling.
But why is the destruction then? I'm sorry, why is the destruction? It looks like more like a...
because of our tanks attack.
Fight on them.
Yeah, because they were blocked in these houses and we need to conquer back the whole settlement. And it couldn't be happened without the tanks.
Like, this is what they're openly admitting. Like, why do they deny an investigation into this? Like, I am not saying that everyone on October the 7th was killed as a direct result of the Hannibal Directive. But if this shit is happening, why is an investigation being denied?
So how many work at...
Like, it's also not just like... And that's the thing. Treating this like it's some kind of insane conspiracy is fundamentally ridiculous.
How many were here and then how many survived? How many did you...
No one survived from this house. From other buildings, we rescued many. Where you stand exactly. We're lying 2 couples, 2 men, 2 women, handcuffed. Inside this house were another 15 burned people, among them 8 babies. They were concentrated them and they killed them.
This is a week after October the 7th being reported on Israeli news. But yeah, if you want to check this out, you can look at is the Vach brothers, Israel's first family of genocide. And like, I know people will say, the guy saying, well, electronic intifada is not reliable. You have them in their own words. Oh shit, I've just moved the wrong thing. I just moved the donation thing to the wrong place. Right, hold on.
Repeated a bunch of times. The truth is, there were babies that were burned alive. There were babies that were killed.
1 baby! And that's what you're talking about. You don't even post about what happens in Gaza. Like, what's Ethan's story today? Let's check out the wonderful world of Ethan Klein Instagram. Let's see what's on his story today. You know, as mass starvation deepens, are we going to get a story about it? No, he's just posting about Myron Gaines. Has Ethan ever posted about starvation in Gaza?
Killed, but there wasn't like piles of decapitated babies. Although my whole thing is like, well, I mean, they killed babies. Are we really gonna Does it matter if they were like organized into a pyramid?
The problem is our president repeated it.
That was which was kind of that was pretty insane.
I like how he just goes, yeah, that's pretty insane, like on that topic. Bro, what the fuck are you talking about? Your whole argument there was, yeah, it was just a few crazy people, and then you just go, and then your only like Arab member of staff pipes up and says, or you're one of your 2 Arab members of staff pipes up and says, yeah, it's crazy our president repeated it, and then he's like, yeah, it's crazy.
But what did he say exactly? Because again, it's true that babies did die.
He said
there was like 3 infants, I believe, that died. But I do remember what Biden said being closer to the misinfo.
But Biden said we have seen photos of decapitated babies. He said he'd seen them.
That's what he said?
Soda.
Bad joke.
He was pretty lost by the end of the...
I mean, he didn't have a lot clicking around up there.
I'm gay.
He was just thinking, I'm gay.
my goodness.
I'm gay. Come on, man.
I'm gay.
Did anyone watch the Hunter Biden interview on Channel 5?
I got through like an hour of it.
Pretty interesting.
It very much so.
It's it's too long, honestly, but
it's like 3.5.
Yeah, he posted about the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation, who are responsible for massacring more civilians than on October the 7th. But this is not the stuff he posts or talks about. Like, he's not actually angry about what Israel does. He doesn't care.
He's an interesting guy, and he's so much his son. It's kind of nuts.
They look identical. It's crazy.
And I never saw a picture of his brother who died of brain cancer.
Oh, Bo.
He looks.
Yeah.
They all look the same.
It's such a sad story too.
Yeah, it's tragic. Their whole family story is just marked with tragedy. Anyway, here's Steiny responding to this.
Was a lie. There was no mass rapes. There was no beheaded babies.
Whoa. Really?
Oh, yeah, dude. Like that's bro. He fucking was just in. Look, if you guys want to really go through.
Anytime there, bud. You want to step in?
Hitting the vape?
Yes, I can.
was he hitting?
But a lot of the stuff that went down on October 7th was
Anytime you want to step in, bud.
Busy right now.
sensationalized and a fucking lie. Look at your
So
chat. They know I'm telling the truth. Look at your chat.
His whole attitude is this is all Kyle's fault? Like, that's basically...
or someone else's who their manager...
Well, he would have said something, but obviously the man has to vape. What's he supposed to do?
This is about the first funny bit I've laughed at, and it's literally just someone vaping.
But the thing is, that's just such a lie. He knew this was all going to happen. I've already had extensive conversations with him about Myron, Sneeko, Nick Fuentes, right? He knows all of this. Okay.
So one of the babies was shot through a safe room door, not executed, and the other one was found burnt. So how that baby was burnt could have been Hamas setting fires. There are videos of people setting fires, or could have been Israel using the Hannibal Directive. But what we will never, ever, 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 ever know is what actually happened, because Israel has denied an investigation. Like, Israel is the one denying an investigation.
He has no excuse.
There's no actual logical explanation for that either. Why is there no investigation into it? Like, the only people who create narratives, and by the way, like, I want you to remember that, like, they said of Gaddafi that in Libya, Gaddafi had killed thousands of people, thousands of people in response to protests. Just wasn't true.
Sit there like a fucking patsy.
Does he have ownership of? I'm not trying to make excuses for Steiny. Let me make that disclaimer. I'm just curious. Is he in like control of Nelk in any degree, or is that Kyle guy like is it his thing and Steiny's just like a hired gun?
I think he probably has some. He has some interest, some equity.
Nelk is the Kyle guy primarily.
I think it's Kyle and
John
I don't know.
their manager.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Just to follow up, Biden said, I never really thought I would see confirmed pictures of terrorists beheading children. And then he also said another time, cutting babies' heads off.
So that one is not exactly true with them, but they did kill babies, so it's like...
Jesus Christ, bro. You were upset about your wife being called a baby killer. She was in an army that has killed so many babies.
I don't really know if it matters that much if their heads were cut off or if they were just burned alive.
I mean, well, I agree in a general sense. I don't think it's something you should debate.
Like, why are we arguing about it? You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, but the reason is because, like, the same thing with the Holocaust, whenever, people were trying, I don't mean to compare the two, but I heard Bassem Youssef say this, and I think it's a good comparison, is that to mischaracterize Jews, they would, like, call them rats, because in people's minds, it's easier to kill a rat than a human. So you take away humanity of people.
They kill babies, AB.
Huh? Yeah, no, I know, but I'm saying when they're saying that
they killed babies. Bro, your whole thing is that, like, everyone says things that are too hateful towards Israel. You agreed with ContraPoints. You complained about images of what is happening in Gaza being shared. You complained about that because apparently that demonizes Israel. But apparently you can't understand the point that someone is trying to make to you here. Like, trying to make to you about what Israel is doing. And you said that people were hating Israel too much. It ruins the argument that Israel defends Jews or is the safest place for Jews. What do you mean? What does? Thank you for the donation, Thomas, as always.
When they're exemplifying, when they're saying how it was done in a bar.
Because you can see maybe he's scared to speak up about this because you see Ethan's reaction. They killed babies. That means it's okay to, like, say anything about them. That's what he says. It's okay to say anything that you want about Hamas because they killed babies. But when it comes to Israel, it's not okay to say anything. It's not okay to share photos of what they are doing. Ethan referred to it as gore porn.
Barbaric way.
They
it's
did
easier to
decapitate
excuse,
people.
Like they could say that they're killing these innocent children, innocent people around.
And also, by the way, you are hyper-focused on this. Israel has been decapitating and violating the bodies of Palestinians, every single day for, like, months on end. And, like, you're still the one who goes, Iran is the evil of all evil.
On them by just being more.
Israel only cares about Israeli Huggies babies, former Huggies babies.
More brutal about the description of it if it wasn't true.
I would agree with you if they were just talking about like Palestinians, but they're talking about Hamas terrorists.
No.
But the whole point is the Israeli government then views everyone as a Hamas terrorist. And also, we hear so much about how Hamas runs the Gaza Health Ministry. Do you not understand the point that he is making? It is so disingenuous to act as if you don't.
I know, but I'm saying that people
who did decapitate people and they did kill babies. So,
I understand,
mean,
but I'm saying that the innocent
wet.
people who die around Hamas, I'm saying that those innocent people, it's easier to get away with it when you don't talk about those people, but you say that.
I think Thomas was saying if so many Israelis would die. Yeah, I thought that was the argument, and I do. It is nonsense. Israel is not safe for Jewish people because by virtue of settling other people's land, and this is the thing that so many people are just unwilling to admit. The Israeli army is always in an aggressive position. No human being throughout history has just accepted their land being taken. That is where the problem lies. Israel is stealing land from Palestinians, and there you have your problem.
Hamas did all these brutal things, which I agree with. You know,
I would say this.
But like, also, by the way, he is proud. Like, Right. 3 years before his wife was in the Israeli military, nurse shot through heart and man in wheelchair among dead in Jenin. Oh, fucking hell. The Independent is sending my PC. That was 3 years before his wife served in the army. They crushed they let a paraplegic man die. Here you go. Examples included 57-year-old Kamal Zughaya, who was shot and then run over by an Israeli tank while in his wheelchair. And that of Jamil Fayyad, a quadriplegic crushed to death in the rubble of his home after an Israeli bulldozer advanced upon it, refusing to allow his family to intervene to remove him. These people crushed, they ran people over with tanks. They've done this in Gaza. They have done this in Gaza. There were photographs of people crushed to death in Gaza. And you said your wife, you were proud of your wife. You literally don't even want people to show the photos in Gaza. I am sorry. This guy is a degenerate racist piece of shit. Like, genuinely, Ethan Klein is a piece of fucking shit. He is proud of his wife for having served in an army which 4 years before she entered, 3 years even, was crushing people to death, disabled people to death in tanks. They crushed 2 disabled people. That is the same amount of babies that died on October the 7th. That was before October the 7th.
This whole thing about, like, piles of dead babies.
It was an anti-Semitic wheelchair. Yeah, Chris, why are we shouting? Because I'm not gonna lie, like, hearing this, and then the amount of people that are willing to defend this piece of shit is infuriating to me. And hearing the way that this guy has the audacity to refer to himself as pro-Palestine, to use his huge platform to work with the ADL, bro, this really, really annoys me.
Babies is not good.
And like having an unwillingness, and they're all pieces of shit too, bro. Like fucking AB is pathetic. Like not being emotional about what you're saying here. This is an army. You have all seen it. There are photos of Palestinians crushed under tanks. Like genuinely, those photos exist. Like that, you all remember it. And this thing of just like having to listen to this man who's like, I don't understand what Ethan's saying. They killed babies. Bro, like, you were complaining. You endorsed ContraPoint's statement that the photos were like, a bad thing to be sharing.
Stupid. And it kind of goes to what you're saying. But they did kill babies, and they did decapitate people on camera. So, I mean...
Oh, okay, they did it on camera. They decapitated people. But you're proud of your wife having served in an army that crushes disabled people.
It's kind of, like, close enough.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's horrible. I'm just saying you don't have to...
I don't think it... I mean, but they already did it. I mean...
Yeah, no, I'm saying it's horrible. It doesn't have to be...
So you wouldn't see a problem with, like, being like, God, and also, by the way, acting as if that they kept this rhetoric towards just Palestinians. Fuck off. Just members of Hamas. There are so many in Israeli society who say all Palestinians do that. So many soldiers who go into Gaza believe that it is okay to wipe out, to eviscerate Palestinians because of what they did, because of these lies. And acting as if they're just something that can be hand-waved away is a fucking joke, man.
Yeah. Nothing has to be added to it. It's like...
Right.
Yeah.
That's true. But so at any rate, I think...
I saw an IOF veteran for the first time yesterday. Pure chills down my spine. Imagine being married to one. I mean, also, by the way, he is basically just like unwilling. He said that he was proud of his wife's service.
Biden fucked up there just because he's the president.
Biden didn't fuck up there. He spread genocidal propaganda for the state of Israel, hand-waving this shit away, whilst you simultaneously cry about Nick Fuentes and all of these people who, yes, are horrible anti-Semites and no one should take seriously. No one should fucking platform. But at the same time, bro, watching you sit there and just hand-wave that away when that is literally a justification for genocide. I'm sorry, that is despicable.
You should be more precise with this language. So we don't even have to...
He should be more so precise with his language. He said that there was proof of it. And then AB's just like, more precise with his language. And also they're saying like, oh, well, he was old. So like, what do you mean he's fucking old? Yeah, he's old, but he was definitely told to say that.
Have conversations.
Oh, yeah. Hijack, you're right. Everyone makes mistakes. Oh, poor Biden, he just made a mistake when he'd unequivocally supported the genocide. I know you're joking.
It's like this, you know what I mean?
AB said, I'd demonize the Palestinians. I'd allow my boss to demonize Palestinians.
But, at any rate, the reason I mentioned that anyway is to address Myron's lying about... I mean, what he's doing is lying.
But like, Ethan wouldn't even want to see that. He said they killed babies. It doesn't matter. Like, no. This matters because this is part of Israeli society's justification for exterminating human beings. Sitting there and acting as if that's just a thing that should be hand-waved away. Like, speaking to your crew member who tries to bring that up like that is ridiculous.
To make Israelis look like they killed their own people, like the Hamas terrorists were, some strategic...
It must be said, what does it mean for Ethan when listening to Myron, noted chauvinist Nazi, is actually on the correct side of the extent of crimes committed? I mean, also, like, just being willing to, like, confront them. Ethan isn't willing to confront them. He genuinely sees October the 7th as, like, this unimaginable event of evil where Israel was, like... And I will reiterate this again. People who say, what should Israel have done after October the 7th? What should Palestinians have done after the First Intifada? Where Israel did shit like crushing people in wheelchairs, where they imposed mass curfews. Okay, they resisted that. What should they have done after the First Intifada? Okay, what should that have been? They engaged in non-violent resistance and Israel treated them with brutality. Move towards violent resistance. That's where you end up with your fucking logic. What should they have done after Sabra and Shatila?
Organized military body that was there to
Real lonely box of losers here. Okay, bro. Ethan is scared of the truth and I don't know. Bro, Myron Gaines saying the truth is a crazy world. I mean, he's still a fucking Nazi piece of shit and I think that comment reiterated it. Like, fuck Myron Gaines.
Only to...
What? Yeah, exactly. What should they have done after the Great March of Return?
Kidnap military personnel to trade for hostages.
The stuff that went... Look, it was just in... Look, if you guys want me to really go through this, I can. But a lot of the stuff that went down on October 7th was sensational.
strategically organized military body that was there to kidnap military personnel to trade for hostages.
The stuff that went, look, it was just in, look, if you guys want me to really go through this, I can. But a lot of the stuff that went down on October 7th was sensationalized and a fucking lie. Look at your chat. They know I'm telling the truth. Look at your
This is part of what I was thinking. Look at your chat. This is...
Also, like, I mean, that statement, like, saying that, like, none of these things occurred. Okay, yeah, that's not true. But he's saying, like, a lot of it was sensationalized. Yeah, it fucking was. By the US president, which you basically just dismissed.
Their chat leans towards this ultra-conservative-brained type of anti-Semitism that already exists. That, like, even without this war, they would have looked at something like this and said, look at the Jews lying again. They sensationalized October 7th.
chat right now. A lot of the shit that went down on October 7th was a fucking lie.
And I kind of said this in my ContraPoints video. If you want all of this stuff to be addressed, then see that Israel is the problem. See that our governments, who claim to be fighting anti-Semitism, but are really just arresting people who are opposing, the genocide in favor of Israel. Why is that shit going on? Why does it have to look like our state is just benevolent to Israel whilst it does war crimes? That is obviously going to feed the narrative of people like Nick Fuentes, because most people, or like some people, not actually most, some people will go down this path of going, yeah, it's all a grand conspiracy, rather than just confronting the fact of the Western Empire and America is evil. Someone like Ethan is unwilling to confront that, so how can't he see that there are others who won't confront it but remain conservative?
And most people don't have the balls to fucking call this shit out, dude. There was no bad.
Anytime. You want to step in there, buddy?
Yeah. He might genuinely just be checked out. Like, is he even listening?
Yeah, what is he listening to? He's panicking.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah, he's trying to figure out, because he doesn't know how to counter this shit. He's put zero work and thought into it, despite knowing that this was going to happen, right? So he doesn't really know how to counter that, because Myron has his talking points. He has his dialogue tree locked down, even though it's all bullshit.
You have to have a way to counter that. You have to be
well thought out. Everything. You have to anticipate.
All bullshit. But even then, what you could say here, if you were genuinely pro-Palestine, is, hey, someone like Myron Gaines, I mean, I don't know actually what Myron Gaines thinks, because I'm not someone who watches a lot of Myron Gaines, but Myron Gaines is tapping into a genuine thing of, hey, a lot of it was sensationalized, and a lot of these things are not happening. And also, by the way, just look at this. Like, this is the stuff that's happening in Gaza. Israeli army is routinely attacking Palestinian rescue teams, paramedics, and other civilians in double-tap bombings designed to prevent them from saving the wounded after airstrikes. Bro, like, that's what Israel is doing.
But everything...
Like, you're like, oh, Hamas beheaded babies. Bro, that was months ago. There is no truth to Hamas beheading babies. It was a lie spread by Israel with the express intent of justifying genocide.
Everything's coming, for sure.
See you later, Sarah.
Like, yeah, why are you debating, October 7th? You want to talk about everything that happened after? Go for it. There's tons to, talk about with Netanyahu. Like,
yeah, saying October 7th was sensationalized is like, bro, what?
No babies in oven.
What? It said, bro.
Okay. Mass rapes were a lie.
I don't think, okay, no babies in ovens. I mean, okay.
Look at your chat, bro.
Mass rapes did happen.
There was literally a video on TikTok that was never taken down. And who it was by that older millennial guy. He said, the world is back to being okay with babies being put in ovens. It had hundreds of thousands of likes and major amounts of views. And it was never taken down for disinformation. People did say that.
It's undebatable.
They're saying facts, but
The chat is saying facts.
Oh.
I guess that really locks up that part of the combo.
Look at your chat, bro.
This is the dumbest person alive.
Is he eating onion rings?
He's eating like Fritos or something.
They're just kicking it, bro. Vaping, eating chips.
He's just chilling. Yeah, they're chilling, vaping, eating chili cheese Fritos.
Just throwing down, man.
Babies in ovens. Mass rapes were a lie. Look at your chat, bro.
Yeah, and also, by the way, to the person who mentioned that Ethan so flippantly swaps them, look at how willing Ethan is to call anyone a capo, anyone Jewish, when they're like, the truth is that the number of Palestinians who agree with the kind of crap that Ethan is saying is so minor. He had to dig up Ahmed Fuad al-Khatib, someone who has literally been employed by the US, is tangentially related to the US government. Bad Empanada has a much better explanation of that than I'm going to be able to give off the cuff. But the funny thing is that Ethan had to dig that guy up, and he goes on and on about token Jews and stuff, because it undermines his narrative that all Jews love Israel. I think an increasing amount of Jewish people don't love Israel.
Murders happened. They're saying facts, but
I can't believe it's real life. It's so insane.
This was just from all angles such a disaster.
Murders happened or no murders?
What you're saying sounds really crazy, but my chat's saying facts, so I don't know.
Are you serious? The chat agrees, guys.
I'm just spitting facts,
happened. But
So now he attempts to push back here. He's trying.
Okay.
He's trying. He's trying.
Saying facts, but murders happened or no murders? Chill.
No, murders happened, but it's very important for you guys to understand how the murders went down. So there were 1,200 people that died on that day, right? 400 of those people that were killed were IDF soldiers.
Yes. Straight to the dome.
He says 400 IDF soldiers. So 1,200 died. There's about 800 civilians, so I guess that's about true.
Which were 1,200 people that died on that day, right? 400 of those people that were killed were IDF soldiers.
Or police officers or something like that.
Jug.
Which by international law means they are enemy combatants and they're fair game. Next was about 800 people died. Now this is the part that no one wants to talk about. The 800 that died, right, that were civilians. Well, keep in mind that everyone in Israel has to join the IDF at some point and do so.
So again, he's tapping on that. Well, there's no. First of all, even if this wasn't true, there's no innocent civilians in Israel because everybody has to enroll in the IDF. So therefore, they're all military combatants, which is again something that Hassan touched on, meaning that essentially every single man, woman, and child in Israel are fair game to murder.
Right, that were civilians. Well, also keep in mind that everyone in Israel has to join the IDF at some point and do service. So you can make the argument that they're enemy combatants, but that's fine. Let's go 800 civilians, right? Those 800 civilians, we don't know who Hamas killed versus who the IDF killed. Now I know you guys are probably saying like, yo, what the fuck?
Do you want to also know something? This is something that is worth noting here. Crazy that Ethan is confused that anti-Semites conflate Israel with the Jews and doing it himself. Myron and Fuentes are what Sam Cedar warned Ethan of. Yeah, exactly. And also pretending that Hassan is the same of them. Bro, this plays into actual anti-Semites being able to dismiss that anti-Semitism is ever a thing.
And we knew at that time, I knew at that time,
Just listen to this. Him talking about the Bibas family.
that some of them, including the Bibas kids, are not alive,
So he said that they knew that the Bibas family were not alive.
unfortunately. Well, a lot of this information I learned from Yarden Bibas himself when I spoke to him. And he described everything, including how he and Shiri decided to fight.
Him and Shiri, probably both ex-IOF soldiers, were armed. Now, this doesn't actually... I'm not saying this justifies taking babies as hostages. Not saying it does at all. But it is interesting when... when we say, Israel has never allowed an investigation. Israel has never been willing to say, hey, what were these civilians doing? Were any people fighting back? Like, what actually happened in these places? Because there you have Yoav Gallant literally saying it. Like, he said that. And again, I am not saying that that justifies taking their children as hostages. It doesn't. But, just listen to that.
The reason for that, guys, is there was a controversial directive activated that day called the Hannibal Directive. The Hannibal Directive is authorization from the government to kill Israeli citizens and or soldiers.
The Hannibal Directive is one of the favorite conspiracies employed by people like Myron.
It's literally not a conspiracy, Ethan. Here's an Israeli newspaper. All Israeli newspapers are subject to a military censor. It's true.
To pretty much blame anything on Israelis killing their own people and to avoid...
What is it? I don't even know what that is.
So it's explicitly, in combat situations, there may be times when the military will choose to kill combatant terrorists if they have other military personnel with them. When it's okay to strike them, if there's other military personnel, so if they're...
So this is what it says here on the Wikipedia. Is the name of a controversial procedure to prevent the capture of Israeli soldiers by enemy forces. According to one version, it says the kidnapping must be stopped by all means, even at the price of striking and harming our own forces. It was introduced in 1986 after a number of abductions of IOF soldiers. The full text of the directive was never published. So you don't know what it is, Ethan. No one knows what it is because Israel has a military censor.
Kidnapping soldiers and going to take them back to Gaza or something. And in what situation can we authorize you to just blow up the Jeep? Okay. What the Hannibal Directive doesn't talk about is killing civilians.
But you don't know that. You don't know that. They say, oh yeah, it's only for soldiers. But who knows what Israel would actually use it for? And in a moment like October the 7th, might they change that?
It has nothing to do with justifying killing civilians. And as far as I'm aware, I don't believe that there's any evidence that it was invoked on that day, as they say. And I don't even know how much evidence there is to suggest how...
IDF ordered Hannibal Directive on October the 7th to prevent... I love how he literally sits there and goes, yeah, they're not equipped to deal with this. There are so many credible outlets. Yoav Gallant has talked about the... his wife's, really good guy, Yoav Gallant, has talked about the Hannibal Directive.
חוצות את הכדור. על חניבל זה משהו שאתם חושבים עליו באותו רגע?
נוהל חניבל, רק נגיד, הנוהל שאומר לראות על מנת להרוג כאשר יש רכב עם חטוף ישראלי.
אני רוצה שתבינו שהיכולת של שר ביטחון לתת הוראות אופרטיביות בלוח זמנים שהכל קורה היא דבר מאוד מוגבל.
ניתנה הוראה לנוהל חניבעל?
אני חושב שבאופן טקטי במקומות שונים ניתנה, במקומות אחרים לא ניתנה, וזו בעיה.
But don't worry, guys. It's actually Myron Gaines and all of these people who are not equipped to be talking about it. Ethan, you are not equipped to be talking about it. You had to do 12 hours of research on multiple days to make yourself look like a fucking idiot.
How frequently this thing is used anyway.
We literally saw Yasmin Parat talk about it. You literally just saw a video of an Israeli general who made up genocide propaganda saying, yeah, we actually did that, you know.
And the reports are pretty, at this point, pretty well fleshed out. There was, I think, less than 10 victims of friendly fire that were all accidental, right? And it makes sense in that kind of crazy situation, tight quarters.
Like, are you just, like, you can, what?
And kibbutz teams and stuff like that. So there was not a significant amount of civilians killed by the IDF. That's just a total blatant fucking terrorist propaganda lie to run defense for Hamas and to...
That's a blatant terrorist propaganda lie. Israel literally killed 3 of its own hostages in the Gaza Strip. Like waving white flags. I'm sorry, the Israeli army is not like this great organization. They are people who fuck up all the fucking time because they are so used to just mass killing whoever the fuck they want.
Make Israel look like the perfect villains that is always doing the wrong thing in every perceivable situation. Yeah, go ahead.
Are you expecting these two knuckleheads to kind of explain it, break it down like you just did?
Well, they're
eating chips and bacon and drinking wine.
Not to do it.
Yeah.
I even said, bro, you should have me on. I said, you doing Netanyahu, bring me on.
The problem is, though, Ethan, they probably realised that it would just be a circle jerk of you going, yeah, Netanyahu, you're so wrong. And then Netanyahu going, actually, you know, we're just eliminating Hamas. And then he'll go, what do you expect us to do after October 7th? And Ethan will go, I actually didn't know. I think the same. I think the same.
I thought it was a long shot. I knew they weren't going to do it, but I was like, at least, you know.
I expected you to blow up Gaza.
I feel like I would be ready for that conversation.
And then he'd be like, do you know Hassan? Do you know Hassan Piker? Do you know Hassan Piker? Is there any way we can get you to kill him? Like, I don't know, or like arrest him? Can you send Mossad to get Hassan Piker? He's anti-Semitic.
God, that would have been nuts.
Oh my God, I hope so.
I would have roasted. I mean, that would have
had my
been
in your hands.
And then of course you go.
Depending how the interview went, I might kill myself after.
What if I? Well, I was not. I was.
No, of course I know you would go in on him. I'm just saying.
It would be a massacre for him, dude.
Yeah, no, I know you would.
It would be the same. It would be a circle jerk. Like, right, you know what? Maybe I will make that video. Ethan Klein versus Netanyahu.
They should have brought me at my anyway.
We just should not be doing this.
The thing is, if you want to confront
guys, like the fucking stream. I don't know what is wrong with you.
Netanyahu, you can't confront him with all this conspiracy brain shit because that's so easy to swat away for him. You have to come knowing the facts. You can't be like, oh, Hannibal directive killed shit. It's like, no, that's not.
Why are you talking about this? Your wife's favorite politician, really good guy, Yoav Gallant, really great guy, said it, bro.
What happened? Let's talk about the blockade of humanitarian supplies. Let's talk about the starvation happening. Let's talk about the
Well, why don't you then, Ethan? Ethan, if the only context that you're willing to bring that up is Netanyahu, it's because you want to redeem Israel, that you still view Israel as just, moral, and acceptable. Like, that's what you want, bro.
flattening of neighborhoods. Let's talk about shit that actually happens that people don't debate, you know.
Well, why don't you, bro? You don't talk about any of this shit.
No fast food tier list?
I would not do that. I would not do that. Nor to not to a Houthi terrorist or to Netanyahu, who is, in fact, a wanted war criminal. Which, again, when I mention Netanyahu's a war criminal, I also like to mention, because people like Hassan and Myron and all these don't mention that. And the same warrant that the international, the ICC issued for Benjamin Netanyahu.
One more time.
Benjamin Netanyahu had the same warrant they issued for Hamas leaders for mass rape and crimes against humanity and mass murdering of civilians, right? So,
yeah, the warrants though against Netanyahu and stuff were far stronger. And you know what? I genuinely think that if Sinwar was alive, Sinwar would have said, "I will stand trial for all of those things if Netanyahu and those people do as well." Whereas, like, if Sinwar was offered that and they said, "Right, Sinwar, come out, you are going to be put on trial," he would do it. But I don't think that Netanyahu is not doing it. And Yoav Gallant is not doing it. Your wife referred to him as a really great guy, and you're like, oh, people need to be prepared with the facts. It's so ridiculous.
People like to say the ICC is like, even the ICC says Israel's doing war crimes. Okay, then let's also acknowledge that warrants were issued at the same exact time for Hamas's war crimes, which they like to ignore.
Hamas's war crimes on October the 7th. On October the 7th. There is a key reason that people speak less about what Daesh, Sinwar, and Hania were doing, because one, they're all dead, and two, they haven't been killing Israeli civilians or in recent months and en masse for over a year, whereas Israel does it every day. Israel is killing 100 people a day, and all you post about is Hassan Piker.
But let me just, he's going to come through for us. Steini's going to come through.
When they're about to be kidnapped by Palestinian militias. And the reason why they do this is so they don't end up in a position where they have to exercise diplomacy and do hostages exchanges. They learned this.
Yes. This is actually categorically true. When Israel invaded Lebanon in 2005, it was due to the kidnap of Israeli soldiers. Israel didn't go through any of the mechanisms that you would normally go through to have to deal with people being taken hostages. Israel didn't go through any of them. And the reason Israel didn't go through any of them is so it could launch a war on Lebanon, which it then ended up losing.
Well, they got back in 2006 named Gilad Shalit. So what Hamas did...
They took like 300 hostages. What do you mean? Whoops, that was an accident. If they wanted to stop all hostages, they could have just blown everybody the fuck up, like on their way out. Like, what? That's so stupid, bro. It's so pathetic, man.
Dude, this has nothing to do with it, but I'm noticing Steiny is blinking a hell of a lot, like way more than normal. Is that how he normally looks?
He knows that this...
I mean, he's blinking like at an uncontrolled, rapid rate.
Because he's sitting there and he's just... Look at him.
Dude's chugging wine.
Yeah, true. He also is. He seems to be an alcoholic. To be totally frank.
He looks horrible, as I said earlier.
Right.
There, the goal was to get as many hostages as possible to negotiate the release of Palestinian prisoners that are in Israel. Again, I'm not here to condone their behavior, but I'm here to tell you guys why they did this behavior and what really went down and what the intention was. So when we talk about the 100 Israelis that were killed, innocent people were killed. I'm not refuting that. But what I will say is a lot of those innocent people that were killed by the IDF.
Wrong.
How do we know this? Because
malicious,
they were shot by a
bold-faced lie.
Helicopters.
I'm seeing that it's unclear, and according to one of the most reference reports, it's 12 people.
There you go, 12 people.
According to one of the most referenced reports... Oh. Shit. Something which, by the way, Ethan got wrong previously, but also we don't know the full scale because Israel won't allow investigations. But yes, it doesn't mean everyone was, but it does mean in certain contexts that yes, they were.
12 people died of 800. That's somewhere around 10, I remember it being. Which makes sense, right? I mean, friendly fire happens, and it's a really fucked up, confusing situation for the military.
But that's also not friendly fire. That's directly... He's talking about the Hannibal Directive.
Yeah.
Doesn't have that. There was some of them in the kibbutzes, which is their homes.
I mean, Myron, this is crazy now. We're going conspiracy theories.
Hey!
However, just by saying that, it's almost like he further emboldens Myron because he doesn't know how to explain he's wrong.
Right.
He just knows how to be like, hey, he's wrong. He's like, okay, Lipton, tell me how I'm wrong.
Right.
Instead of being like, Myron, why don't you tell me how you know all these people were killed? All these civilians were killed by the IDF.
Conspiracy theories, bro. This is 100% fact.
Wait, Myron, we're seeing a breaking news, a tweet. LMFAO having Nelk interview Netanyahu, who's like Ted Bundy doing a podcast with a woman. These dudes are
That's funny.
fucking retarded.
Wow, Myron.
But here you are.
I thought we were
That was from him? I mean, I'm way more critical than that.
Is that a fair game soundbite?
No. Let me hear it again. Probably not. Let me hear it
Nelk
again.
interview Netanyahu, who's like Ted Bundy doing a podcast with a woman. These dudes are fucking retarded.
Wow.
I want it to be.
Too bad. Veto.
We said the R word's not coming back.
I didn't say it.
I thought it was coming back. Not true?
No.
Not in my world.
Not in my house.
It's not in my vocabulary.
No, me neither.
I cringe when people say it. It's like, dude, what? Why? The thing is, like, we also used to lean on these types of words, but now that I've like phased it all out of my vocabulary, it's like you don't need to say it. It doesn't.
Well, regularly saying the N-word when in your 30s. Like, well done, Ethan, for managing by the age of 40 to realize that saying the N-word wasn't good for your brand.
Make you funnier. Doesn't make your point more valid. It doesn't do anything interesting or good for what you're saying. Just say dumb. Just say intellectual disability. You could call it developmental.
Yeah, I don't need to listen to Ethan Klein about why he shouldn't use the R word. I mean, as you know, I don't use it. So, and I don't feel the need to tell you why I don't use it. Like, I don't use the R word. I don't use it.
A sashimi on top.
What I don't get is like
I don't want people using it. You can watch all my content. I don't say it.
Your balls come out?
We're talking about fish and rice.
Yeah. Yummy,
but
yummy.
they're not putting any seasoning or sauce on top.
It depends on which sushi.
Okay, that is certainly enough of that. Right. Is there anything that I want to cover? Yeah, I'll watch this final. Like, someone made a supercut of it. Gato Fumador, I believe, made a supercut of it. Oh yeah.
It's just. So yeah, I mean, I don't know why you would say that. It's just crazy.
Here's my here's the top UK top American political advisor
to say that, especially about like all the Israelis being liberal.
Oh, but like I don't feel a need to like clap myself on the back and as like a 40-year-old explain why saying the R word is just like not like a great thing. The only technical slur that any people have ever heard we say is the F word, but that was in relation to having a cigarette, and it's completely fine in the UK to refer to a cigarette as that, but I just won't do it on stream.
And bloodthirsty, etc. It's just really weird. I think that he's just gotten. I think the problem Hassan's written himself into a corner with like the radical extremist stuff.
Bro, like Israel is a genocidal society. Their entire society is premised on the idea that Palestinians don't deserve the right to live in their own historic homeland. Oh wait, there is apparently some more Nelk chat in here. Like, let me have a look.
Retarded. You said we're retarded because you're using the platform, right? Just like.
It's interesting for me to see that, you know, why would anybody leave Israel? And it's like, it's just a.
Oh, am I going to get a new setup? Yes, thanks to everyone's kind donations, I've been able to afford a new setup.
And what's...
And also just general support, watching, viewing, anything.
So funny to me about it is that there's always this, like, illusion to something bad happening, but you never think about what is the bad thing. You're talking about the bad thing. The bad thing is that people are trying to go into Israel and kill the people that live.
The bad thing is that people are always trying to go into Israel and kill them. Why is that happening? Why does that shit happen? Well, because Israel is invading Palestinian land. You are someone who literally believes that refugees coming to your country, immigrants, should deserve to be humiliated and experience a multimillionaire running up to them and pretending to be Ash Ketchum. You think that's funny, and yet you think that you have a right to talk about this. You think that it's wrong to refer to Israeli society as bloodthirsty. One of the top songs in Israeli society that rocketed to #1. The song reached #1 in streaming platforms in Israel. Let's have a look at the lyrics of Habu Dabu. A bunch of fucking mice coming out of the tunnels trying to discourage fools. Mark my words, there will be no forgiveness. Yeah, who do you think you are? Coming and shouting free Palestine. Tvi, you children of Amalek. Hoop damage them. Left, right, left. Impressive how the whole country put on uniforms from the Galilee to Eilat. Combatants and female combatants. Duvdevan and Magav. Karakal. Bardalas. We brought the whole army on you. I swear there will be no forgiveness. This is like Nazi level propaganda, and that was #1 in Israeli society. And they're literally just saying the names of Israeli battalions. Get your asses ready, because it's the Air Forces. Feel the vibration all the way to Tel Aviv. All the girls stare at the soldiers. And that guy on the news seems handsome to me. Then they yell at me, free Palestine. But somehow to me it sounds like holiday sale. Half a minute and the whole country is in uniform. So, by the way, it's also so fucking funny because they're like, oh yeah, you shouldn't blame the whole of Israeli society. This is Habu Dabu. It's a pro-genocide song in Israel that went to #1. I'm not reading any more of it because it's really fucking horrible genocidal shit.
Anyway, this is honestly, I could watch this all day because it's so upsetting, and it is quite funny just how if you focus on the ignorance and just the patheticness of these two bozos.
You know what, Ethan? Perhaps you have just... There's a kernel of truth in what Ethan is saying here. This is why your podcast is funny. Because people focus on your idiocy. They use you as a means to expose how stupid and tired Zionist talking points are, and how pathetic it is that someone like you refers to yourself as pro-Palestine.
It can be entertaining.
No, Luke, we don't fuck with Boom Boom Tel Aviv by Lucas Gage. He's a fucking neo-Nazi. He's a neo-Nazi. It's an AI bullshit song.
And funny.
You could listen to an actual banger, which is on YouTube. Which is 17th of October, Palestinian communist song.
But it's so fucked up.
But here you are. I thought we were homies. How are you any different? You didn't say that was retarded. You said we're retarded. Because you're using the platform, right? Just like, I'll give you a chance, but I'm just saying. Yahoo, Myron.
Guys, listen.
I also love how Ethan Klein just went on like a thing of like, oh, you know, I'm such a good guy of like talking about like not using the R slur, but like just they're using it here, and like were best friends with Steiny.
Be 100% honest, not bullshit. You guys. didn't think you were going to get this much backlash, and now you're getting damage control.
Bro, are you crazy?
We knew
this. Myron, can I tell you?
That's probably true.
Yeah. Although, Guile seems to think it's no problem. Dude, what?
Bro, the Jews did what?
Bro.
Oh, wait. This part actually doesn't include the very beginning. They cut that out.
Yeah, I was noticing that this seems edited.
They cut this out to make it look better for them somehow. Where's the part with
this
the very
fire
beginning?
content, by the way.
Right,
I'm gonna go rip it dark.
right when Myron calls in.
Let me see if I can find a full re-upload.
Yeah, no. And I don't think I need to even watch Nico or Nick Fuentes, who are.
Well, we got a lot of other stuff to get to.
Yeah, you guys get the
We can come back. We can come back to this at the end if you.
Olivia, just to be clear, Steiny doesn't have a chance now, correct?
Right.
Steiny's off. Okay,
that's
just wanted an update.
You should tell him, and I'll be waiting there for him. We'll show up to the restaurant. I'll be sitting there.
He had a chance, but he's blown it.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
You were going to go on a date with him,
Right.
but
I
now
don't think that was ever really the case.
He asked me to hit up a vegan spot. Maybe I was even thinking about it.
Oh.
He's like liberals love vegan.
But whatever that was.
But then
it's
you
on
interviewed
now.
a war criminal, and it's just a little bit of a red flag, dude.
I hate when guys do that.
Steiny says to me, zero support, zero empathy, zero anything from you. Yeah.
So,
Wait, that's what you.
It's so fucking funny. Like, also, by the way, I guess the reaction to this is unsurprising, but bear in mind that he interviewed Trump, who is also a war criminal.
He's saying?
One of the many things he said. He was just getting very like victim-y, like, woe was me, how could you do this? How could you be my friend?
So is
How could you do that?
his Jewish card revoked? Does he get his foreskin back? Is that how this is working?
excellent question.
Dude,
Like a reverse moil?
Reverse moil.
I don't know, man, but he's not helping anybody. Except himself, honestly.
I don't even know about that with this one.
They just want views. I mean, they got the views.
I guess
They had a
that's
fat
true.
sponsor in the beginning. They promoted gambling.
They have another one in the. They have another one in the middle as
They
well.
have two?
Yeah.
Was it horse betting too?
Tom,
Let me find
you gotta
out.
step up your game, dude.
So they,
Sure.
well,
I tell them to get one of those. Just phone it in, get one of those deals.
Listen, these guys, they're getting multiple ads on
opinion on that?
interview with the
Just
war
your
criminal.
overall-
Yeah, bro. Yeah, it's a good point, Dan. I apologize to all of you for really dropping the ball.
Yeah, you were getting praised for a content nuke, guy. This is an actual war.
way worse, man. This is way worse.
Who was praising you for the fucking content nuke? XQC, Asmongold, Destiny.
Yeah, that's the problem is we try to find legit sponsors. If we just look for gambling, they won't.
Legit sponsors. Bro, you're sponsored by Redact.dev, a guy who hosts a podcast with Destiny. Like, Destiny has serious allegations against him, and you have no problem with your sponsor being his podcast co-host. Actually, you know what? It's no surprise. Dan Saltman is just an older version of Ethan Klein, whose life is just obsession with like, Hassan Piker. It's no wonder that they share common ground.
This is MoonPay.
The hell is that?
What is MoonPay?
This one that Steiny did that weird ass ad. It looks like buying crypto.
So they had one crypto ad and one gambling ad.
Okay, we could do that.
Yeah, we could.
We should.
I'm not going to.
Hey, to be fair to SafeMoon, we haven't checked on the price in a few years. It may have gone to the moon. Let's see.
Oh, no,
in the
here's
last.
Going anywhere, I use MoonPay. They take Apple Pay, PayPal, Venmo, credit card, debit card, everything you can think of, they take. And guess what? 24/7 customer service.
The fuck?
You know, I think laughing at this Steiny stuff is pretty funny, but like Ethan Klein, he was probably maybe 5 years ago. I don't know how long this was ago. But Ethan, what were you doing 5-10 years ago?
It looks like he actually
What were you doing 5-10 years ago, bro?
went to space.
What a budget. They have a huge budget. Wait, it's still lowering.
Yeah, it still hasn't hit the bottom.
And they're doing an ad for these fucks?
No.
No, this is something else.
This is different.
It's an ancient meme.
Yeah. Still going down though.
Yeah, still room to descend.
I just bought 39 million shares of SafeMoon.
Yeah, baby. Anyways, that's enough of these idiots, you know. Let's see. Here's the ad.
Tell the Iranians, but we tell each other.
All right, guys, we're gonna interrupt really quick. I want to.
Right.
I have no idea what that is.
I do feel like that is probably something also worth noting. Just making money off interviewing a war criminal is pretty fucking crazy, bro. Like having adverts in that. The fact that Ethan was ever associated with Steiny is a condemnation. I mean, Hassan is associated with Steiny. I don't really understand why anyone is interested in being around this guy. He's a fucking freak. Like, they're fucking members of NELK. Okay, so we got a new statement from the UK. Yay! Yay, statement against Israel's genocide. Woo, everything's gonna be fine. He was at the Boston Marathon. Oh, really? Maybe we should all check out Ethan Klein Boston Marathon. I don't know, maybe. I heard he was there. Did he run like a good thing or something? I don't know. Like, was it a good run? I guess I'll have to do some research after the stream. Maybe you all should do some research after the stream about the Ethan Klein trip to the Boston Marathon. The suffering and starvation unfolding in Gaza is unspeakable and indefensible. Okay, point 1 fails to mention Israel doing it. While the situation has been grave for some time, it has reached new depths and continues to worsen. We are witnessing a humanitarian catastrophe. I will hold an emergency call with E3 partners tomorrow where we will discuss what we can do urgently to stop killing and get people the food they desperately need while pulling together all the steps necessary to build a lasting peace. We all agree on the pressing need for Israel to change course and allow the aid that is desperately needed to enter Gaza without delay. It is hard to see a hopeful future in such dark times, but I must reiterate my immediate call for all sides to engage in a good faith and at pace to bring in about an immediate ceasefire and for Hamas to unconditionally release all hostages. We strongly support the efforts of US, Qatar, Egypt to secure this. Does the statement... The statement mentions Israel once. That Israel needs to change course and allow aid in. Bro, it is fucking insane that this is what we are hearing. That this is still the point that we are at. Like, I feel like I could just... We had the Lamy conversation yesterday, so I don't think there's much need to go into detail. But, like, why are statements all we bother to receive or all they deem as us needing?
A lot of the shit that happened on October 7th.
Actually, that's just Ethan's lives on October the 7th. Right, okay, guys, I've been live for a while. I might stream on the weekend. I'll keep you updated. I am actually going to go live tomorrow with Jacob Berger, and we're going to talk... He's on the Freedom Flotilla to Gaza, so we're going to do that tomorrow on TikTok, so that'll be about 4 p.m, 5 p.m. I'll keep you guys updated. Thank you all for coming and watching. The VOD will be remaining up. Thank you, Bro, not gonna lie, this looks like a dress, right? Stop your propaganda. It's not a dress. It's a very, very sweaty vest. Does that look like a dress? Does this look like a dress? Does this look like a dress? Do you know my old TikTok profile picture used to be me in a dress, actually? It used to be me in a dress, but it's no longer up there. So maybe one of you can find it, but yeah, have a great day, and I'm going to sit here in silence for a second.